can be free. I take the weight on my shoulders. I feel the sky come down on me. And I can't hold it much longer. Gotta let go so I can be free. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
You don't have to.
How we doing? Happy Friday, everyone. It's Foul Territory. Scotty Braun, Adam Jones, Erik Kratz. Pierzynski too. Adam?
It's Friday. I'm lost.
Yeah. Whoa. Wait. Is this you or is this like an AI hologram?
Yeah.
He's a bot.
Yeah, it's real. Oh, it's real.
Yeah,
And
smack the table. Wow, it's real.
I'll smack you.
I'll take it. Jonesy, if you're out of the loop on this, Pierzynski is a Monday to Thursday guy. You know, he does those Fox games on Saturdays. So he's actually here on a Friday. It's weird.
Team playing close?
No, I was in Cleveland. I flew home last night. We got rained out.
You did great last night. You sounded awesome. Best game
You
you've
know
done
what?
all year.
You know what?
Yeah,
Thank
you were good. You were
Listen,
good, dude.
thank you, thank you, Guardians, for banging the game at 5:15 so I could catch the 7:45 flight home.
Fair.
Otherwise, I would. If they would have done like a lot of teams in the Northeast. They keep people there. They open the gates. Cleveland didn't want to open the gates, so they banged the game before, sent us all home. So thank you, Cleveland. Thank you, Detroit. Sorry I didn't get to do a game, but
That's Midwest nice. I respect that because, yes, there are occasional issues where I question what's going on in the Northeast. We'll leave it at that. When people are hanging around a ballpark up until game time, then they don't tell you it's delayed until first pitch. Then they say it's like going to be a little bit and you think that there's a chance. And then at like 8:30, after they've made millions of dollars from your concessions, they say, JK, see you tomorrow. So anyway.
how many times have you guys, I know this happened a few times. We knew the game was called. We were already gone and the fans were still there. They had no idea. And I would have like family in the stands. I'd be like, hey, the game's canceled. Like, we haven't heard that. They started saying, possibility at 8:30. And I'm like, well, I'm already in my car going home. So I hope there's no game.
Few times in Baltimore, but I just waited for the moment. They say, hey, you guys go home. But yeah, Friday night they're not calling that game until 9:30. Everybody's on their phone looking at we see this big glob flowing right into us. We know the game's not going to happen, and like the Midwest and the East Coast rain, it'll tell you what's going to happen, and they wait for that gate as long as they can, especially on the weekends.
We definitely had that happen in the minor leagues where they're like, you guys can leave, but try to just slip out the back. Like minor league stadiums are like the size of a high school stadium. Fans see you leave and you hear them like, boo, like you're leaving through the back. So yeah, I'm sure it happened in the big leagues just like it happened in the minor leagues.
That's Bush League. Everyone should be about the people like we are. We don't hold anything back, especially if you've been paying attention this week. Anyway, where in the world is Adam Jones today? Let's see Adam going through the forest.
Mr. Dan, like Jordan.
And now?
The Jones family, we are in Marbella, Spain. We spent the earlier part of this week in Lake Como, which was absolutely beautiful, picturesque. I think it's heaven on earth. Whoever said great place. AJ, I'm sure you've been there. You've traveled a lot. But I'm down here in Marbella, Spain. We got some friends here, and I'm golfing like hell. I golfed today, shot an 86. It was a tough course. And hopefully I'm out there tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. That's all I tell my wife. Just book me a golf, and I'll take you anywhere. I don't care.
All right.
Good deal.
All
hey,
right.
did you do the whole, is this heaven? No, it's Lake Como.
No, I didn't. We jumped into the lake. It's on my Instagram account. My son had a little bit more bravery as he jumped into. It's like this old bridge. It's like thousands of years old. I think 2,000 years old or something. And he jumped into it. It's this famous place. And I screamed going down. And I was a little scared. I told him, as I get older, man, I don't care. My heart was all the way up here. I didn't care. But he was a little tougher. You can find that on my Instagram account somewhere around there. And no, it was just great. We had a great time. It was fantastic swimming in a freshwater lake instead of just the ocean. So it was just a fantastic time.
Well, you live your best life. I'll do mine. So we'd like to announce on Foul Territory that we are hitting the road, and we are going to a little slice of heaven right near my hometown of Warren, New Jersey. It's about a 10, 15-minute drive because I used to work there. We will be doing the show live next week, August 24th, Thursday, from the home of the Yankees AA squad, the Somerset Patriots. 1 to 3, the normal show. We'll be signing autographs. We're going to do some interviews with some of their players that we'll show you probably the week after or the next day. Kratz throwing out first pitch, and I'm grabbing the mic for a little because that was my job back in the day. I had the mic in between innings.
You know what?
You could see that,
I
right?
can totally.
Of course you can.
You are totally the guy that does the dizzy bat race, the announcer next to him. And Eric's going down. He's on his third turn. Here we go. Oh, he's not going to make it. Oh, no, down goes Kratzy for the... Oh, and here comes Jonesy making up with the big floppy feet on and the oversized jersey. Oh, I can totally see.
And I was like
you doing
17
that.
and I looked 9.
I can totally see you doing that.
Fantastic. There'll be some pictures coming out from that. So can't wait, Kratzy. You ready?
I'm excited. I've actually been throwing a little bit of BP, so I might throw a knuckleball in first pitch. Unless the person doesn't have a mask, then I'm not doing it.
Are you guys? Are the Yankees going to allow that after this past week?
Yeah,
I figure
team.
I figure we're gonna get thrown at from some people in the organization, and some of the players are gonna throw cupcakes at us for us to eat. So it's gonna be a mixed bag.
No, we're saving the world, okay? We are saving the world and the franchise. Most Yankee fans reached out to me and said, thank you. This is going to change things for us, and we're going to get back to winning titles. So I'm not going to get into any more of that because we spent hours this week, so you know what to do. You can find any show if you go backwards. Let's go forwards and charge the damn mound, okay? We do have an apology and a statement, really, from Tim Anderson about the situation from, it felt like a billion years ago, White Sox and Guardians, Jose Ramirez and TA. So TA said, I want to apologize to the entire White Sox organization, my teammates, manager, and coaches, and to the fans for my part in the altercation which took place in Cleveland. This has been an incredibly disappointing season for me personally and for our team. I will not get into the things that were said to me by Cleveland players both Friday night and Saturday, but those comments do not excuse my language or conduct, and I take full responsibility for my emotions getting the better of me. The Cleveland players are free to say whatever they want, but I will just say that no one has more respect for the game of baseball than me. I look forward to returning after serving my suspension and finishing the season playing the best baseball I can to help my team. Jonesy, you go first because we've been on and talked about this a million times. I don't think you've been on with us since the brawl. So what do you got for us on the aftermath now here from TA?
I mean, finally came out and said something. I mean, he's right. He hit it right on the button. It's been a disappointing season for him personally and for the team. I mean, the fight. I don't know what you want to talk about when it comes to a fight. I mean, what you're going to apologize for at this point. I mean, you can apologize to your people firsthand. Okay. I mean, I'm not mad either way. Just again, I think the most important thing is playing good baseball. I think again that happens. Brawls happen. We all been in them. But, we turn the pages with the best of them, and we try and play good baseball. And, the White Sox have had a disappointing season, so I think that is just adding on to what's going on with that year. But, hopefully he's in a good mental space personally. At the end of the day, he needs to be in a good mental place. I know, again, a lot of things are going on around him personally. So I just hope that he confines himself in a good mental place and finish this year strong because he's a hell of a player. And I think he's to be a free agent or has a player option, but who wants to go into the offseason on a downswing?
Yeah, he's got one more year after this with the White Sox, I believe. Is it an option?
He's got one more year.
Yeah, it's one more year. One important point that you brought up that makes me think, when two players get in a brawl, because Jose Ramirez did this too with his apology statement, do they have to apologize for getting in a fight, that part of it? Like, do players usually do that?
I didn't think they did.
I don't think so. Like, Jose Ramirez did it too, and I'm thinking back, and I'm like, why? I don't need you to apologize for getting in a little brawl. Like, it was an entertaining part of the sport. It happens. All good. You want to apologize, like, in private to the league or some players, coaches. But I don't think, like, fans deserve an apology for two dudes going at it. It's not like this is happening all the time or You know what I'm saying? Am I missing
agree.
something
No,
here?
you
Wait,
don't have
why
to
are we even
apologize.
doing apologies? I
You
don't give
don't
a fuck.
apologize for getting suspended, maybe, but
To your
even
team,
that,
like,
it's going to happen. But you don't need to apologize to the fans. It was entertaining.
if you get kicked out of a
You're an
game for
entertainer.
arguing balls and strikes, do you apologize?
I mean, I didn't, but
Like, do you
maybe
put out a
Jonesy
statement?
did. Kratzy never
so-
got ejected, so he's too nice. So he doesn't have to worry about this.
Jonesy, why do we have apologies in general? Like, why did either guy need to apologize?
I think that's the PR behind it. You know, it was like, oh yeah, just, you know, it's a bad situation, get ahead of it, and it's like everybody loved it. Nobody on both sides of it. Again, it was you know, you got I forgot the guy's name, but the announcer he's going viral with his "Down Goes Anderson" because he has such an iconic voice when he screams. But it's like, what are you apologizing for? Again, you can apologize, hey man, I'm hurting my team because I'm not playing these games. These are important games down the stretch. Okay, you can apologize for something like that. But apologizing for getting in an altercation, hey, I ain't never seen a hockey player apologize for fighting and getting you know, whatever, or a soccer player fighting and getting a red card. You don't apologize for a fight, you fight. And it's like, okay, hey, I'm sorry for the suspension, but hey, I ain't sorry for the aggression I showed. I don't care.
Hey,
What?
I saw. Go ahead, Kratzy.
No, I was just gonna say, why is it so late? And you don't need to apologize. Just make a statement. Like, this happened so long ago. Like, the whole timing of everything has been so brutal.
Why did
Like,
it take so long?
right?
Why did it take so long? Why didn't he make his? Why,
It's not about the statement either.
But
It's
also,
about,
why didn't he do this in person? Why is it on Instagram?
Well, you're going to get questions regardless from report. Is this to
No,
try
but
and
he
say,
doesn't
I'm not
answer
going to talk
questions.
about it?
He hasn't answered
Yeah, but
questions.
that's not smart. You
I-
need
well,
to, you need to
that's a whole
talk at some
different
point, or
strategy.
otherwise everyone's just going to bother you more about it.
I agree, but he has not. I mean, he has not answered one question. He hasn't spoken to the media since.
But he's going to eventually. He's
When
never
he
going to talk
hides,
to the
he-
media
I don't
ever
want to say
again.
hides. He's not there. I was there last weekend. He wasn't around. He was when the media was allowed in. I saw him only in the training room, but I didn't go back there because you know. But I mean, everyone else was in their locker when the media was in there. And then my question is, I saw Tom Hamilton yesterday, and we had a nice laugh. Well, as soon as I see him, I'm like, down goes Anderson. And he started laughing. He's like, of course you'd say that. You know, he's like, and then I see Jose Ramirez, and I just went like, he's like, no, Papi, no, Papi. And I was like,
Like in a joke or a
yeah,
laugh?
no, he was laughing about it. He was
Yeah,
laughing.
come
He's like,
on.
he goes, I don't want to lose again or something like that. And I was like, dude, I don't know that you lost that one.
He didn't lose.
I know, dude, he's awesome.
He's
so
very
if you know
humble.
Jose Ramirez at all,
Yeah.
he is awesome. He is funny as hell. And I also got to talk to Tito about it. And I said to Tito, I said, listen, you and Jose schooled the White Sox organization on how to handle this. And he's like,
After the fact.
After.
Not
Not the fight. The fight is the fight.
Yeah.
I'm talking about how to handle it because Jose came out right away and said, I apologize to Tim Anderson, which he didn't even have to do. He could have just said, you know, whatever. But then Tito, remember after the game, was the guy's like, how was his left hook? And he's like, his right hook's not funny. But like they handled it right. And I feel like the White Sox haven't even talked about it still, whether it's Pedro Grifol or Tim Anderson. Now, Tim Anderson put a statement out, great. But how do you not? I mean, I don't know.
He's going to have to talk
Jonesy,
to the
maybe you
media.
can speak to this a little bit more, and Kratzy, but I don't understand how as a player, you know, you don't say this in person and even if you have a note card like this and you're like, here's my statement, like, and then just move on from it instead of putting it out on Instagram where there's no reaction at all. It's
There's
like,
comments.
but I mean,
yeah, it doesn't mean
who cares
anything.
about comments?
No,
I mean,
know.
people comment on stupid shit all the time.
I know what you're saying is it doesn't provide an excuse, say Jonesy, to put something out there and then say, well, now I'm not going to talk to anyone else about it ever again. You know. Also, it's not that big of a. I know it's a big deal, like pride wise, but like, you know, he didn't get like in trouble. He got suspended for a fight, and like you didn't like the result. Okay, cool. Like we've all been there. You know.
You did nothing illegal. That's the thing. Like, literally,
It's all good.
So it's okay to fight within your sport. Now, if you did it at a bar, that's different. You did nothing illegal. Seriously. But I mean, that's just with the era of social media. You know, you see it. The agents put out statements. Players put out statements through their agents. Things are written up for you know, on your Instagram stories. It's just a social media era. You know, it's now that the person can do it themselves and they can do it in a way that is non-confrontational, I should say. Because again, AJ, like you said, when you're in there with the media, there's cameras on you. There's mics all over the place. Like everybody's getting the sound bit. and it could be 10 people in there want to talk about the story, and everybody's going to talk about it completely different. If you do it through your social media and however you feel like doing it, you can start your own narrative and answer whatever question and then be done with it. That's how it is nowadays, and leave all the comments. Let all the people comment on you underneath, and you can be done with it that way. The social media era, it just allows that to be a little bit easier, unfortunately.
Did you guys see the thing on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now, where somebody put up his statement and then they put it into Chat GPT, and it was the exact same. It was like the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, wait a minute. I don't know. I mean, you guys, again, we can move on from this, but
well, Chat
to me, it just means more.
Is writing every.
Well, I know
every student's essay.
That's why it's funny. I know my kids have
done it.
John Morant. Showed me.
It was John Morant's.
Yeah, but my thing is, isn't it mean more? And listen, again, social media age, I get it, but doesn't it mean more if you're the person, you're standing there and you say, "I'm sorry," to the camera, and you don't have to take questions? White Sox have a press,
you do have to take questions.
Is he going to hide from the press for the rest of his career?
No, that's my point. Like, eventually you just talk and it's all good. Like,
then it's over with.
And I get same thing. Like what Jonesy's saying is, if there's a criminal case involved or something really serious going on, like you just say, like, something's under investigation. I'm not allowed to talk about it right now. Like, this is just some shit that went down.
But what he's going to say is, like, the question is, hey, we got in the fight. I mean, it sucks that I'm hurting my team by missing some games afterwards. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I think more questions were created. Two things. One is, I think if I'm the reporter, right, I'm asking what was said, even if he just says, I'm not going to say it, because he's like, I'm not going to get into what was said back and forth with us. So I'd want to know, like, what's being said. If there was something that said that you felt like crossed the line and caused you to want to fight, like, people want to hear about it. You can just say, hey, this happens all the time. I'm not going to tell you what conversations were going on. My second question, which I feel like you probably would get a response to, is, do you feel like you were either disrespecting the game or being too aggressive with the way that you were slapping on a tag? I actually don't feel like he was. I feel like the tag was fine. So that's actually a spot, Jonesy, for him to be like, yeah, I feel like I slap tags like that all the time. And like, he was being soft about it.
I mean, I just think this was just brewing. It's just been brewing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just been brewing. Everybody needed it. It needed to happen. You know what I mean? Sometimes when it just needed to happen. The explosion needed to happen. I think everybody just they play each other so much. Them two been going against each other for, they're basically their entire careers. So it's just something that just needed to happen. And it's like brothers fighting. You know what I mean? Like, they're great competitors. Like, next time, hey, you never know them. You might see a hug out of them. I doubt it, but it's part of the game. It's part of being between the lines. And you take the good with the bad, and you roll with the punches, literally.
I would pay for a hug out of it.
That ain't happening.
To charity.
That ain't happening.
You can raise a lot of money for charity.
I don't think it's happening from TA's side. I don't know about Jose.
Jose would definitely hug it out.
Yeah, but I don't know about TA. TA is not. I don't think he's in the hugging mood right now.
Okay. He's too embarrassed. That's why this is why it's all taken so long to come out.
Yep.
Okay. Can't argue that. Yeah, you're right. I don't know if it's embarrassed or just a. I mean, yeah, of course, it's obviously an embarrassment thing, but I also think there's a. Listen. Jonesy knows, as someone that went through this, not quite again to that extent where.
But you took a sucker punch.
I took a punch. I didn't square up and get knocked.
That's why it's called the sucker punch. Punch is. But I'm just going to.
I understand what people say, and like I've said all along, you can't hide from this because it will be there. Ask Jose Bautista. Ask Rougned Odor. Ask Michael Barrett. I mean, I'm here. Ask all these guys, right? Ask Robin Ventura and Nolan Ryan. For the rest of your life, you're going to see the picture. You're going to see the video. And you better you're better off to embrace it than hide from it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it's only get worse.
People buy me beers every time they show it. Like, okay, hey, you know what I mean? Embrace it. It is what it is. You can, like you said, there's no hiding from it. No matter how you shake it up. People gonna put it on shirts. I'm sure people in Cleveland are putting how it is now. Every time something's funny on a meme, it goes on a shirt, a hat, a golf. What damn things when you golfing?
Golf ball.
A golf ball. There.
A koozie.
It can go on these. It can go on anything.
the things around their drink.
Koozies.
Koozie? Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good koozie.
All right. We got a lot to get to when we swing back. So let's show you the poll question. QR code on your screen. You want to hit that with your phone. Otherwise, watchstadium.com/foul territory. And this is relevant to what we're about to talk about coming up. Which pitcher will end up with the lowest ERA for their new team? Jack Flaherty, Lucas Giolito, Lance Lynn, Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander. By the way, we're talking to the perfect game player of the week coming up during this hour, plus Marc Topkin on the Rays and Wander, and Zac Gallen joining us later on the show.
We just had a guest on talking about analytic things and non-analytic things. And he said in his quote was, maybe big league hitters aren't willing to make adjustments. You ever make adjustments in the big leagues?
Come on, man. Hey, it's a different game. It's a different game with analytics and stuff. And that's a whole nother topic. Obviously analytics is one thing, but the human element, human instincts, you can't teach that either. Not all lefties are created equal. Not all righties are created equal. And sometimes, like right now, I have reverse splits. I'm hitting better off lefties than I am off righties right now. And you can't explain that. But in the matchup world of analytics, you would say, hey, this guy doesn't have a good chance of this. And you got to make that adjustment. Obviously, I feel like you guys know every year in the big leagues, it's constantly changing. And it's how you have to make your own adjustment to stay in the league. The league is not the same as it was when I came in 2016. So now in 2023, you got to shift gears and you got to make adjustments to guys like Spencer Strider, Shohei Ohtani, Jacob deGrom, these guys who are out here throwing invisibles. So, analytics is one thing, human instincts, human element, that's a whole nother ballgame.
And now back to foul territory.
Back at it on Stadium, Braun, Jones, Pierzynski, Kratz. It's foul territory. So we are going to spend some time in the weeds. A lot of topics to run through, okay? Including one of our buddies who has appeared on this show many times and is now the talk of the town in Los Angeles right now. There we go. In the weeds. Not hard to miss or to find. Lance Lynn. Dude stands out. He's got the beard. He's got the body. He's got it all going on right now in LA, okay? He does not hide. No. He doesn't. The one thing I'll say before we dive into this is he doesn't hide when he sucks, and he'll be the first person to say that. He said that earlier multiple times on this show this year. I sucked. And he had a 6.47 ERA with the White Sox before he was traded. Then he goes to the Dodgers, 1.44 in 4 outings. 7 innings, 3 earned. 6 innings, 1 earned. 5 innings, no earned. 7 innings, no earned. That first start, by the way, Kratzy, I believe it was 3 homers, 3 solo homers. So some people were like, oh, Lance Lynn still looking like Lance Lynn, which is fine. 7 innings, 3 earned. You'll take that. But they were like, there's homers, there's strikeouts, this version of Lance Lynn. And it's like, oh, wait, no. Now he's not even giving up home runs in his last few starts. He looks like a 1 or a 2 on the mound for them now.
And they were against righties. Righties were hitting him. The thing that we had him on right after his first start, and that's what I was kind of alluding to, was the lefties that he struggled with when he was with the White Sox. They weren't getting to him with the Dodgers, and that's why I kind of leaned towards saying, like, well, what's new? And, he's mixing in the curveball. He's throwing more fastballs to lefties. That cutter diving in on their hands more and throwing it up and in. I mean, the results are ridiculous. Like, this guy's a huge pickup, and they gave the White Sox nothing for him.
well, nothing is an exaggeration, but the White Sox feel like they got good players from him. But who's to blame for this? This is what I always wonder. Guy gets traded, veteran guy Lance Lynn, been in playoff races, won World Series, done the whole deal. Who's to blame for Lance Lynn's struggles this year? Lance will take credit. He'll take the blame, say I sucked. But is there an underlying thing? Is it
Lance
When he
shouldn't
goes
take
over
too
to
much
the-
of the blame, though. I'll
But
tell you
when
why.
you go over to the
It's the same
Dodgers-
person. What happened?
Right, that's what I'm saying. But when he goes to the Dodgers, he just miraculously is good. They had to say something to him to change something. He said, like Kratz said, he changed something. So why didn't the White Sox say, let's try something different?
Because they're not built as well as an organization. That's what's staring you in the
You
face.
said it. I'm not saying that.
I definitely can say it. And also,
I concur.
Adam, thank you. Adam, do you concur that the Dodgers, and this isn't just with Lance Lynn, and I will say this, sure, it's a knock on the White Sox, but also praise to the Dodgers. They're number one, at least top 3 in terms of taking guys and making them better.
I mean, look at Jason Hayward this year. That's a perfect example right there. People wrote him off as like, okay, well, it's time for you go to Japan. And look what he's doing now. He's having a hell of a year, hell of a season. And, it's fun to see. It's exciting as a player. And that culture in LA, I mean, you get there and you walk in that dugout, you're in first place and in that clubhouse, and you got Mook, you got Freddie, you just got some smiles, you got stars all day, every day. I'm sorry about it, but you ain't got to go to the South Side of Chicago. You know what I mean? No offense to it, but it gets a little dangerous over there here and there. But it's LA. The lights are brighter, and you're playing for a better organization and a culture that is just second to none right now.
I mean, it's not just Lance, though. Look at we have a tweet. I think we do. I don't know. I sent it over to that. Everyone they brought over this year has been incredible. Joe Kelly, Lance Lynn, Yarborough, Jason Hayward, JD Martinez. The list is like
John Brazier.
every single guy. Yeah, Adam Brazier. Every guy they brought over.
Ryan Brazier?
Ryan Brazier.
Sorry.
Sorry. I was thinking of Adam Frazier.
Adam Frazier?
Yes.
Yeah, there is an Adam Frazier.
There is an Adam Frazier.
Different player.
Yes, exactly. Ryan Brazier, the Red Sox guy.
Yeah.
With the funky neck thing.
With a neck tilt.
Yeah. But you look at all these guys' numbers since they went to LA. It's crazy the difference so whatever the Dodgers are doing is working. But to see it happen now, and I get it, if you're there like you're Jason Hayward and you were struggling, and then you get a spring training and you get all this time to kind of build. But like these are guys that came over, boom, in the middle of the year and are making a huge difference. Here's the tweet. But I mean, JD, okay, Hayward, Peralta. Right?
Dave Peralta, especially lately, has been on fire. That's
Kike.
Kike. Look at Kike.
Right?
$5.99. And I get it, okay? It hasn't been that many ABs yet, but still.
Ahmed Rosario, 3 homers and 50 at-bats.
Come on.
Right? Lance Lynn, you see this is obviously before. And then you have Brazier, and then you have Joe Kelly, and then you have Yarborough.
That is insane.
I mean, that's everyone.
That is insane.
Down the list.
Dodgers development, coaching, front office, the whole deal. Stand up and take a bow. Holy shit. It's like every new dude to the ball club.
It's amazing.
That is incredible to be able to do that. If you do that with a few guys, I think they would have been really happy about it. No? I mean, dude, there's some front offices, like I always remember.
You get one guy to do that, you're like, holy shit, we figured we developed this guy.
Dude, there was one year where when Billy Epler was running the Angels, he made like 6 or 7 signings that added up to like $36 million because I remember being pissed. I think it was the year Cole signed, and I was like, this is how much you could have paid Cole. And every single player was terrible. Every single player, like completely bombed. It was like Matt Harvey and Cody Allen and all these guys that had success in other places, and not one of them panned out from what I remember. And look at the Dodgers. They're running laps around certain teams.
I want to know what they do. I want to know what they do, though.
Well, we need to ask.
We need to get Kratz to get a job somehow, like get hired, like inside job, and figure out what they do. Because you got
to get Dontrell on.
Oh,
does he work for the Dodgers?
Yeah, he works for the Dodgers and under with the farm director. So
who is the farm director? Do we know who the farm? Who is
he
the
knows
farm
what's
director?
going on. He knows what's going on down there, and man, he's saying when I talked to him a couple of days ago just about that, he's just talking about they are producing arms down there, and they just have a good formula. They're letting these kids throw. Get back to old school, letting these kids throw. You got an arm, you throw. You need to throw the baseball. It's okay to throw. You know what I mean? These kids are so specialized in everything. So Dontrell will be a good one to talk to about it because he's firsthand in that organization.
Will Rhymes is the farm director. That's the name.
Will Rhymes.
You know?
Yeah. Played for came up with the Tigers. Had a little cup of tea with the Tigers and the Rays.
Buster Rhymes.
Yes. Okay. It's ringing a bell. Great Immaculate Grid guy, by the way.
Yes.
But
100%.
Not anymore.
Jonesy, here's my question. Like for someone like, say, Hayward or Kike getting traded over there now, there's got to be something to it beyond just, hey, this is a good ball club. And not that Boston was that bad, right? But
Right.
I'm just wondering, for example, about teams that are not playing well, right? Like the Royals suck this year, but Bobby Witt is really coming on strong right now, right? Like the Angels are never really good. Ohtani does his thing. So it can't just be like, oh, well, Lance Lynn was on a shitty team or something. Like there's plenty of players that exceed on bad ball clubs. So everyone wants to know, like, what's the formula here?
I mean, superstars are superstars. Like I said, Witt is a budding superstar. So, he's going to do what he does, no matter what's around him. But again, like Kike, he's a spark plug. You know what I mean? He goes off in these great spurts, and he can carry a team for a week or two. And getting back to LA, getting back to that energy, getting back to that Latin energy that he's been used to. It ain't the same Latin energy that's up in Boston. Now maybe in the clubhouse, but not in the city the same way. Now you get to LA, he's back to dancing and feeling himself all going down the Soul Train line of the dugout. And it's back to having fun in a different way for him. Not to say Boston's not fun. Boston, AJ, as you know, is a completely different organization and how they handle business than it is in Dodger Stadium. And Kike is back to having fun. Jason Hayward's back to having fun. And that's the Dodgers formula, how it seems to what the personnel that they get is. No matter who the superstar is, and they got plenty of them, they all are playing the game correctly. They play it with a smile on their face, but they play it with a chip on their shoulder too, as like when they went down to San Diego and played the Padres a couple weeks ago, or like a week ago.
And also, this is not an accident. Can we show the tweet from Alden Gonzalez? So the Dodgers have won 11 games in a row, 15 out of 16 in August. They're on pace to win a hundo. They're up double-digit games in the division now. This is a pace to win a hundo for a third consecutive year, and this is a great line. Oh, and Lance Lynn is pitching like 2008 CC Sabathia, which is, 08 CC was
unbelievable.
Insane.
Unbelievable.
It was such a
Plus,
pickup
I was happy
for Milwaukee.
CC got out of the AL Central.
You personally.
Yeah, I don't want to. I mean, I had to face him a lot.
He was happy to be able to hit, so it worked out for everybody. But
okay, so is this Dave Roberts? Is this Mark Pryor? Is this the front office?
Everything.
Yes.
Everybody.
It's entire.
But
It's
the
an
August
organization.
success. The August success, I think that's important here too. Is some teams?
Well, they take divisions and they're in the middle of it, and they just go and they rocket blast away from it, like they did this. I mean, they're doing it again.
But some teams, like in this time of year, they fall apart and crumble. I will say, and I know they're playing well, like Seattle has that pitching foundation, starting pitching wise. You see teams, you find cracks in starting pitching when you get to August, don't you?
Well, yeah, but
With
the
certain
Dodgers
ball
got
clubs?
Lynn, who's on fire.
That's what I'm saying.
Yarbrough came in and has been unbelievable. Now, he's not starting, but he's like, they're using him with the opener, and then they bring him in a lot of times after, right? But some of the Kershaw's back, pitching unbelievable.
Because it's a marathon. They take
Arias
care
is
of him.
back, right? I mean, so the one thing the Dodgers know, and I think Jonesy and Kratz will agree with me, they know they're probably going to be in the postseason. They know they're going to be in the playoffs, more than likely, unless something crazy, wicked crazy happens, right? Wicked had. But so what they do is they build to this moment, whereas other teams are trying to just, oh my gosh, we're in the postseason. Oh, what do we do? What do we do? Right? So the Dodgers just build, because their ultimate goal is what the Yankees used to be, to win World Series, because they know they're going to be in the postseason.
But I'm going to stop you there, okay? Kratzy, you can help me out here because you probably see this all the time, right? Because this is going to go up on socials and whatever, and some people are going to be like, yeah, talking good about the Dodgers, give them attention, whatever, which we're doing. But then you're going to have some people go, oh, and how many titles have they won during this regime? One during the COVID year, which to me, it was a tournament. Like, it was the regular playoffs. But yes, they've only won the one World Series title out of it. So
right,
they're thriving in August, but not always in October, which is tougher to accomplish.
Yes. World Series is so hard to win. You get teams that are hot for a 7-game series early on, 5-game series. It's so difficult. Look at what the best teams were last year. Dodgers, Mets, Braves. Didn't even make the NLCS. If you gave me the Dodgers, Mets, and Braves and then everybody else to make the NLCS, one of those teams, I would have taken them. You can't judge it based on World Series. because then you're going to say, well, if the Braves don't win 7 World Series in the next 7 years, it was a failure because this team is unbelievable. That's not how it is. The Dodgers know what it takes. I think, is it 10 straight playoffs they've made so far? I think
something like that, yeah.
Whatever it is, they know they're going to be in, like AJ said. And they know what it takes to get in, and now they're talking about, like, how do they set up their bullpen? How do they set up their rotation? Make sure Kershaw's healthy. I bet he could have probably pitched through some of his injuries in the last few years to get a few more starts, but knowing what it takes away on the back end, they're getting these guys healthy. And this is where, in August, guys get tired, bullpens get tired. And that's why I'm surprised Seattle's bullpen blew it the last few nights, because their starting pitching is awesome. And they go the deepest of any starting pitching in the league. And that's how you get to this point with your pitching, and you keep them healthy so that you're going like this into the postseason and not like this. And that's what the Dodgers do so well. And I would put them at the top right now of a chance to win the World Series.
100%. Them and the Braves are probably by far your National League favorites, right? And we're talking about the Braves. Remember the Braves
Not
won
by far. I think the Dodgers could put up with
so
them.
the Dodgers and Braves are by far the
Dodgers and
two
Braves.
teams for the National League.
Yeah, yeah.
My question is, the Braves in the 90s, they won how many division titles in a row? 14 in a row, and they won one. It's hard. You can have the greatest team. The Seattle Mariners.
They're pissed about it. You talk to those guys. Like, I worked with Smolty for years, and he's like, damn, dude, I should have won more. But I'm like, it's fucking hard.
2001 Mariners won 116 games. Probably the best team I've ever played against. They didn't win shit.
Yeah.
Yankees knocked them out, right? It's what Kratz said. It's so hard. Jonesy, you've been in the playoffs. Kratz, you've been in the playoffs. It is so hard when you get there to win. Everything kind of has to go right. You can have the greatest team in the world, but if breaks go the wrong way, you lose. And you lose games, you can lose in that short series quick.
But
No, I was just going to say, it happens from series to series. How electric was the 14 ALDS for you guys, Jonesy?
Amazing.
It was electric. I mean, when Delman hit that ball to left and he comes, rolling around, the cameras were shaking. You guys rolled into KC and got your ass swept.
Mortified.
But I'm saying it happens so fast. It happens so fast, and you can't build it analytically. You can't build it any other way other than, all right, boys, let's go. Like, we got to want it more than everybody else.
Yeah, that's the game.
One comment, though, and then I do want to sneak in one more story. Luke Skywalker in our chat.
He has the force.
Who's smart. Asked if the Dodgers are so great in, quote, fixing players, why couldn't they do it with Cody Bellinger? But that's the whole point. Like, some teams look at it, they're like, it's a win if they're able to turn around one or two guys. They're turning around. You can't turn around everyone.
Bellinger won an MVP. I'm
number
pretty sure.
Two, Bellinger, yeah,
and he won a World Series.
Yes,
I mean, he was down, but the Cubs made an adjustment. Maybe listen, as players, and Jonesy and Kratzy, as players, it's kind of like we got into the argument with Jake Bowers. Bellinger was probably stubborn. I don't know this, but he was probably stubborn, and he was hearing the same thing from the Dodgers. You change scenery. Guess what? There wasn't a lot of teams paying a lot of money for Cody Bellinger this offseason. Now, I don't know that, but I'm assuming.
No, he wasn't getting $200 million offers, which he might get this offseason.
He got a one-year deal.
Yeah.
Right? And he went to the Cubs, and the Cubs says, you need to make these adjustments. And he's made adjustments with his hands and his stance. Whereas before the Dodgers, he didn't do it. He's like, I've been good. Why do I need to change?
No, and he also was changing sometimes. And it gets in tough mechanical spots like Hayward. And Hayward now, it clicked.
Yeah.
Change of scenery does world of wonders. You know what I mean?
Not always, but sometimes new voices. Yeah. And then when you get older, you're like, shit, I need to maybe listen because it ain't working.
Exactly, because you find yourself like, oh, well, I maybe had one or two offers. And then, again, if he didn't have a good year, if he had a subpar year like the last couple of years, he might find himself into, the 1 year deal or 2-3, and then may find himself in minor league deals. The great players make adjustments. Guy's a former MVP, and he's playing like one right now, which is amazing to see. And again, sometimes just hearing that different voice, like, hey, I know LA is a spot, and that you've been there, but hey, I've been watching you a long time. Change this, and you'll get back to your success. And again, he's healthy. You got to remember that, too. He went through a bad shoulder injury. I never went through anything like that. I never made excuses, and I'm sure he'll never make excuses for his play. But it's really hard to play when something bad is going on with your body physically. So I'm just glad that he's healthy and having a hell of a year.
That's a good call. You need your shoulder to swing the
Remember
bat.
he hurt his shoulder in the World Series.
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
celebration. He had issues though. It dislocated a few times. Tough. That is not fun. Hey, we're going to swing back with our perfect game player of the week. Joshua Priest will join us coming up next, and we'll chat with him about what's working for him and what the next steps are for him as a prospect. A good perspective for a lot of the youngsters out there on a 15-year-old who is thriving. So we'll talk to Josh coming up next on Stadium. Can't wait.
Wait, you have a seat, buddy? What kind of planes are you guys flying? Commercial? You guys?
No, it's show cards in the back, baby. We sit at a table, so Nick sits next to me. He's got the window seat.
Okay, good. I was hoping they weren't. The A's were doing some things.
Yeah,
wrong,
you know what I
can see the A's.
Hey, I'll say this about the A's. It might be, people might look and say, the A's, whatever. Mickey Morabito, the travel sec, who's been here for 40 plus years, we travel nice. We always stay at a Four Seasons or a Ritz whenever we travel. We got card tables in the back. We travel nice. So that's one thing I will say about Oakland is they know how to take care of their guys when we travel.
Yeah, that's good. See, Tony, you've learned over your 6+ years, kiss up to the travel guy. Because you know what? When you get to the hotel, guess what? Oh, guess what, Mr. Kemp? You got upgraded miraculously. I don't know how. So
man.
Mickey, I actually saw Mickey when you guys were in Dallas earlier this year when you guys were playing the Rangers. Had a nice chat with him in the bar there at the Four Seasons. So, yeah, he's a good guy. He's been around forever. So, but I know what you're doing there. I get it.
Hey, Mickey, if you really know Mickey, he likes a dirty martini. So,
I'm well aware.
So, anytime I'm at the bar, he's drinking for free. That's my guy. And obviously, those travel secs work their butt off. I mean, your family comes in town, you need to buy extra rooms. And, this guy, if you tell him one thing, not even a text, just tell him at a bar or tell him at the field, he's got a really good memory. And to this day, this is my 4th year in Oakland. He's never messed up. And to say that about a travel sec is saying something.
And now back to foul territory.
Back at it. Let's do some poll updating. So which pitcher will end up with the lowest ERA for their new team? It's a good fight between Lance Lynn and Max Scherzer right now. I like that. I went Lynn. I voted Lynn.
Well, Lynn's off to a start.
So, yeah, I've got a good start. And guess what? It's already late August, so that helps. Anyone else differ?
Lorenzo's doing okay. Lorenzen's doing okay.
True. We didn't put him on it's got to be out of this list, though. We didn't give you other this time. Sorry, but you're right. He is off to a nice start as well.
Yeah, if that's good.
Yeah, that is good.
Below average.
That's good. That's why we need you. Philly represent. And then next question for you. You can see that QR code, bottom left corner, or watchstadium.com/foul territory. Who will be the AL's top wildcard seed out of Baltimore? I know they might win the division. Then don't pick them.
They're going to win the division.
Baltimore, Houston, Tampa, Texas, Toronto. Go for it. Have fun. Right now, it is time for our perfect game player of the week, powered by Launch Hydrate. Joshua Priest is a 2027 grad. He's 15, PG grade 9, uncommitted, out of San Diego, California. Excited, especially perfect timing to have Jonesy on for a San Diego guy. How do you say that? I always mess it up.
La Jolla?
La Jolla.
La Jolla?
La Jolla High School.
Day.
La Jolla Country Day. Joshua Priest joining us right now, and thanks to Launch for hooking this up. It's right here. Josh, how you doing, dude? You're on with Jones Erik Kratz, Pierzynski, and little old me.
I mean, wow, I'm just astonished to be here with you guys. Like, I'm just really excited. I don't know how to express it.
Well, we appreciate it, Josh. But my question is what's wrong with you? You're not committed yet. I mean, kids commit at like 12 years old. I mean, you're 15. What the heck is going on here?
Yeah, I know. I want to take my time, make sure I go on my official visits, make sure it's like the right place. Get a good relationship with the guys, and make sure it's like a home field.
Good. You know what? That is the smartest thing you could ever say. Take your time, enjoy it, because guess what? If you go to college, you're going to have to spend, if you go to a big school, you're likely going to spend 3 or 4 years there. So make sure it's the right spot. Do not rush into it. These kids, man, they pick places at like 12 years old. They don't know.
They switch sometimes.
I know, but they don't like. I mean, Josh was like, I'm going to commit to UCLA at 12, and then he's like, man, I hate the Bruins. I'm more of a Trojan guy. I don't know. Like I want to go to Stanford now. I mean, it's like,
well, that's why it's fun, Josh. Yeah. And obviously, in case you're unaware of AJ's approach, he's like, why aren't you committed? He's saying he respects that.
I totally respect it. Yes, 100%. I'm proud of you for that.
Yeah, hey, Josh. That. Thank you.
Hey, Josh, nice to meet you. Adam Jones here, San Diego native, and I live in Rancho Santa Fe. I mean, not at the current moment, but my kids are going to go to La Jolla Country Day, as I've heard it's a fantastic school. How is the program, the baseball program there ran by Mr. Edmond? And sell me on La Jolla Country Day, because there's some other schools as Bishop and Francis Parker that I know is some good rivalries. So sell me on La Jolla.
I mean, La Jolla Country Day, really good area. I mean, even just baseball-wise, like Coach Edmond, great guy. As you know, his son's in the major leagues right now. He's doing really well. He even comes to the field just during the winter just to like get his stuff down. And, it takes VP. We get to watch him sometimes. And even like not necessarily baseball-wise, but academically, the school is like outstanding. The teachers, they'll take extra time, work with you, make sure you like understand the subject, and just get a good grasp of like the material that you're learning, and just make it comfortable for you in a nice home environment at the school.
Who's your favorite big league team and big league player right now that you like watching?
Favorite big league team? Honestly, I like the Royals because they're a religious organization and I'm Christian as well. So, I mean, I respect that, and I like what they do. And also, Mike Sweeney was my coach for a little bit amount of time. So, I really like the Royals.
Wait, Mike Sweeney was your coach? In
Yes,
San Diego, or where? Did you ask him about when he was a catcher and he couldn't cut it, so he moved to first base? Did you ask him if he remembers being a catcher with me in the instructional league, and he's like, it's too hot, I'm going to first base?
No, I haven't asked him that, but I know he has stories. He's
one of the great. He's one of the great dudes of all time. So it's a good guy.
Awesome.
That's a great guy to model your game after. What's your favorite position? Because we look at it says outfield, infield, utility, pitcher, first base,
everything.
So what's your favorite position?
I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of going back and forth right now. Like, I really like the outfield. I think it's fun. I also like the infield because it's like, it's just fun to take ground balls and like basically be more into the game.
All right, closer to home plate gets.
Also, the right response would have been, AJ, I don't have to commit to that. Okay.
All right. So what's the 60 time?
Yeah.
We just saw you running. Can you beat Jonesy?
Ooh.
I don't know. I might have to find out. But I don't know.
What's the time? What do you got? What's your best time right now?
Fastest time so far is a 6.5.
Ooh, Jonesy ain't catching that. Jonesy ain't catching that.
6.5 at 15. Yeah. You got me by 100%. My fastest was 6.39, but I was 19, so I was in pro ball and got some. So
wow.
You got me. You got me. I see you got me in size too at the age, but you still gonna have to get a little bit bigger and stronger. But how is it? Having older guys. You got obviously you have seniors on your team. How is it looking up to them? Is like not just academically, but like, hey, they are showing you the pathway. You got some big brothers, not just in your family, but on your teammates, between your teammates. How is it? And also with playing against the kids that are that you're meeting, playing in perfect game. You're meeting kids all across the United States. How is those relationships starting to form? Because you're going to be playing against these kids either in college or in pro ball for the foreseeable future.
I mean, yeah. I mean, last year, perfect game success. There's these kids from the Dominican Republic. One of them's Neymar Torres, and same with Ricky Esquivel. Like they were just teaching me another language, like Spanish, and it's really enjoyable to like learn from them. And then even with high school, like they've been 4 years, I mean, they've been like in high school for 4 years. So like they'll just like give it to me straight up and like not beat around the bush, and just I guess be a good teammate, and you know, I, I guess just help me if I need it. Yeah.
Joshua, dig yourself for a minute. Who's your travel squad?
Travel squad as of right now is the ZT Prospects with Coach Erik.
Okay. All right. And you guys played in all the big ones, right? So did you guys win some tourneys this year? Did you go deep or what?
Yeah, we won a lot of them. Our team's actually doing really well. We got good pitching. We got a good team environment. Just trying to build closer together like brothers. And hopefully, I think it's Jupiter we might go to later this year, and yeah, I hope we can win that one as well.
All right. What's the hardest guy you faced? Because did you see the 12-year-old yesterday at the Little League World Series throwing 81? So, I mean, have you guys – what's the hardest guy you faced so far?
Sasquatch. He's a 6'7" pitcher committed to ASU. I actually faced him with the SoCal Giants. He throws, I think, between 94 and 96.
At 15 years old?
No, this was a year ago. Yeah. It was really fun because I mean, my brother, he was playing, and it's like basically the committed game. So he's like, all right, why don't I just hop in there, get in at bat, and, have some fun. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to take this time, cherish it, have fun up there. I work a really good count, 3-2 count, throws me a fastball, like low and out. I drive it to right center and get a double, which I'm like, wow, this is awesome. Just having a fun time with the older boys. And then after that, I actually steal third, which was really cool because I'm just like, I'm having a really fun time on the baseball field. Like, I was having a blast that day. Yeah, it was fun.
That's awesome. And his name's Sasquatch.
That's you got to hit it against Sasquatch.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's
well,
great.
Hey, great to have you on, Joshua. All right, keep doing your thing, and respect from all of us. And you're really well-spoken and mature at 15 years old. All right, and tell AJ I'll commit to positions and schools whenever I want.
Thank you so much for having me. I really had a good time. Oh, last question. Adam, what's some advice that you give to your 15-year-old self that maybe I could, take along with me?
Ooh, do more push-ups. I always tell myself that. That's a Scott Braun this recipe. But just practice, and also take your time off. Take time off. Relax, because San Diego, I know we got all the sports, but you can play in the wintertime. There's no day off. You can play, Thanksgiving tournaments, Christmas tournaments. Just take some time off. Just remember to give your body a little bit of rest.
Okay. And then one of my last questions, what about mentally, like the mental side of the game? What are your, thoughts, opinions, or like, what do you, like when you're playing or when you are playing, like what do you think about right before you go on the box, on the on deck circle, or even just after like a good or bad, like, I don't know, what are you saying to yourself?
Well, you're a little too young for some of the things that we say to ourselves in the majors in this show. But no, it's the mental approach is very important because you have to go up there, understand that. Look, hey, you might have got me last time. This is a whole new opportunity. Whatever happened, it's the turn the page. Major leaguers are the best at turning the page. Each level you go, as you've seen, when you're playing high school ball, you're better than everybody. The second that you get into these tournaments and these classics, there's a lot of people that's on the same level. Once you get into pro ball college, it's the same thing. What separates you is who can turn that page better, who can have the amnesia the most, and who can just be like, hey, I failed then, now it's time to succeed over. So it's just having that amnesia and understanding that, hey, it's a failure's game, but I'm going to come out on top.
That's good stuff, Jonesy. We got to run, but Joshua,
That's
awesome having you on, dude. Take that. So appreciate you. And want to remind everyone to check out launchhydrate.com for 20% off on all flavors, or you can scan that QR code on your screen right now. Make sure you use the claim code 20FOUL launch. 20FOUL launch. Launch Hydrate on the desk right now, too, with the pretty logo. We'll be right back on Stadium. That was good stuff. I'll say is, good advice. I felt like there was this analytics arms race because some teams did things so well and gained significant advantages from analytics and information, right? Especially on the pitching front. And I felt like the Yankees were here doing this too. And it's like, wait, you crossed the finish line. You're still going. Like, dude, you went too far. And there's some other teams that are right here, that are running.
Do we have any time left?
One more minute. Go ahead.
I would say if I put my GM hat on, I would say the only way to build a consistent team with some runway is to develop guys in your minor league system because of how the contracts work. So I think they should focus on getting some guys where you can get them on those big league minimum salaries for 3 years and you have an all-star, and then you fill in the rest of the spots with your free agent signings, your big money guys, and then you have a stud team like the Braves. The Braves do this, the Dodgers do this, the Astros do this. They recycle guys. You're like, where did this guy come from? Where did this guy come from? That's the way to build a runway. That's my GM hat, and I think the Yankees could do that easy.
Yeah, and you pointed out, like, Luke Voit had a good run there, right? Where they were, and they've had others. I mean, the Yanks have done that well. We've, plenty of people have pointed out mistakes. They've done a great job over years finding guys like Lance brought up earlier, like Jake Bauers. Great, good example.
Yeah.
Just you can't ride everything off of that. And the problem we had on the prospect side was like, are you developing enough players into what they should become, right? Like Jeremy Pena's had an up and down sophomore year, but I mean, one of the biggest parts of the Astros winning a World Series, developed well, comes up to the bigs right away, contributor, doing the big things, exit velo, homers, all of that. We all love that. And all the small things if you watched him on a daily basis to be a winning ball player.
I got to shout out my boy Volpe too. He works hard. Love him. He's a dog in there, man. He knows baseball in and out. I think his hitting will come around for sure. But that guy can play some baseball. That's for sure.
And now back to foul territory.
We went long, so we'll see you in the second hour on Foul Territory's YouTube channel. A whole hour to go. We'll start with the Rays and Wander Franco. We'll see you there.
So I can be free. I take the weight on my shoulders. I feel the sky come down on me, and I can't hold it much longer. Gotta let go so I can be free. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Let's do this. Hour 2, FT Live. Braun, Pierzynski, Jones, Kratz. Marc Topkin is going to join us soon on the Tampa Bay Rays. Obviously going through a lot this week with Wander's situation and Shane McClanahan and seeing where they're at. So a lot to get to. Mark's great. And then Zac Gallen, about 30 minutes from now, Cy Young candidate with the D-backs, shoved again yesterday. Kratz
Great guest we've had too, by the way.
When? This week?
No, Zac Gallen. We had him on before. He's awesome.
Oh, he is one of the best of the year.
Yeah.
I would say, no?
Oh, 100%. Well, 100%.
Okay. So let's run through our locks and then we'll talk Rays. Okay. So your BetMGM locks for Friday. It's weird to say Friday when you're sitting next to me. It's still weird. Just saying. Also, we do want to remind everyone the Mets and Cardinals. That's your free MLB game of the day streaming on the BetMGM app. Live streaming available to all BetMGM customers who are logged in and have funded accounts. I watched that game very closely yesterday as we run through
Why are you smiling?
yesterday.
Asshole.
Because you and me went that day. You thought with your heart. I thought with my
I said
not
that.
heart. Because
You
I
know
love
what?
Wayno too. And I was like,
but my
Quintana's
K's
gonna
hit,
shove.
damn it.
Yeah, your K's hit. Quintana was fantastic. He's looked really good with the Mets. So he easily hits his 3 Ks. I think he finished with like maybe 6, and the Mets won. So
Wayno got his
banger.
2.
Yeah, Wayno got his 2. A rare miss for Kratz lately. How many Ks did Gallen end up with, Kratz?
5. No, 3.
3.
3. Yeah. Wasn't good. He had a lot of hard contact.
Didn't matter. He won.
Yeah, he won.
Yep.
Guess what? He got a win. Oh, wait, that doesn't matter. Yeah.
No, the team won.
Oh, cool.
That's what matters. All right, wise ass. You want to start off?
I'm real simple today. Brian Bayo. It's Bayo Day.
Yeah.
And he is pitching against who? The New York Yankees. And guess what? We've been doing for the last 2 days. Scott and Eric have been bashing the New York Yankees. So today I am taking over 5.5 Ks. We need 6 for Brian Bayo.
That's
Is why?
way too low. What's it at?
5.5.
I know, but what's the line?
Plus 120.
What?
Yeah. So I'm just saying, the Yankees, they tend to strike out a bunch. Now, I don't know if Bayo will make it long enough, but I feel like 6 Ks, he can go 6 innings and punch out 6 Yankees.
Yeah, he's a strikeout machine.
So,
Kratzy, what am I
he's
missing
only
here?
gone. He's only gone over 5 3 times this year, and the Yankees are
tonight's gonna
not
be
a
4.
And the Yankees are not a strikeout machine against starting pitching that throws sinkers. So just saying.
Whatever. You know what? I've gotten too greedy lately by going for these super duper parlays. So I'm just taking one with a plus number and going with it. Yeah, I felt I need Wayno to get 2 more wins, man. I need him to get to that 200 number because that'd be cool for
I
him.
know, but you can't. You got to root for that separately. Or even we can talk about the emo hedge at some point again.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but anyway,
He's the worst
you're right,
of the emo
Kratzy.
hedge.
Yeah, AJ can't do it. But you're right, Kratzy. Bayo, I would think would be a strikeout machine tonight.
I hope so.
Yanks will do it.
Just 6. That's not a lot.
And he had a run. You're right. Yeah, he's not striking out the world all the time, but he did have a run where he was hitting that K prop pretty consistently. So I don't know. I didn't do the research. That's not my game. But Jonesy, I know where you're going because you just stick to what works, even if it's a steep line for you tonight.
It is, but the O's they're 500 on the road trip. That's what you want to play first off on the road. That's always good to play 500 on the road and really good at home. But they played the Mariners and the Padres. 2 teams are in the hunt and really good teams. Now they're in Oakland. This is when you go and do what you need to do. Tampa did this early in the season by just pummeling the teams that weren't that good. This is when you beat the teams that you need to beat. If you're a first place team, you go there and you get these games. So taking the Orioles to do what they need to do tonight in Oakland.
Got to lay down 185 for a hundo.
I mean, I still feel good about it.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
it's called a lock for a reason. Kratzy?
My lock today is the Nerfy. You can get some insurance on the Nerfy. Just the game you were just talking about. Oakland has scored when they're at home. Oakland has scored a quarter of a run, averaged a quarter of a run in the first inning. The lowest home average run scored in the first inning. And Baltimore hasn't been much better on the road. They're better at home, but hasn't been much better on the road. Medina, hopefully he covers first and gets the 3rd out of the inning. And our guy Gibby's got 10 years. He's been really good in the first inning. So this is almost a layup here with the Nerfy getting 120. I'm going to put down 120 to win 100.
Okay. I will go with the Braves money line against the Giants. And
Strider's pitching.
And I have Strider on there as well.
Is he facing Cobb or what?
He's facing Cobb. So
Okay.
It's not crazy. It's at minus 135. I couldn't just do the money line by itself. I took Strider at 7. 8 is where you start to get into plus, but I'm trying to outsmart them and keep it simple here too because I'm trying to get myself back on
I'm
track.
going to say Strider will punch out 9 because he
That's
he
fine.
had a rough outing.
But I just wanted to be careful because 8 was tempting because that would have
careful?
put me at like plus
What
a
do you mean?
hundo.
So you
It's
got
a
it
lock. It's a lock, dude. I have a record. We keep
He's
receipts.
looking a little tired his
And-
last
and I
outing.
got
I like
Atlanta.
that, Scotty.
Yeah, 7. Okay. I'm exactly. If Atlanta's like, hey, we're up 8-0, let's take him out in the 6th or whatever, and he's got 7 Ks or something. Just trying to be careful. Okay. Play with me here.
Scared money don't make money.
It does make money.
Nope.
Playing
It does.
smart money and not playing with your heart money makes money. Players will receive a bonus bet if you log in to the BetMGM Sportsbook every Friday for the next 3 weeks. The claim period extends through Saturday and Sunday. So you have 72 hours to do the claim there, and then 72 hours to use the bonus bet after you log in at any point this weekend to claim that bonus bet on the house. All eligible players will be awarded a bonus bet of a predetermined value, but you're not awarded a bonus bet in Kansas, Nevada, New York, or Puerto Rico. All right, let's talk Rays, shall we? We have Marc Topkin joining us right now from the Tampa Bay Times. Has done just a fantastic job for a long, long time covering this team better than anyone. I'm not trying to make you sound old, Mark. I'm just saying you're consistently great at what you do. Well, whatever. We're all old here. Topper, great to have you on. Let's just get right into how crazy of a week it has been for you to cover this ball club. How are you navigating that? Because you have a terrible injury with McClanahan and you have a crazy criminal case going on right now, or an investigation at least right now with Wander Franco. So how is it to cover this ball club?
Yeah, eventful would probably be the most polite word, guys. And it's obviously been just, a lot of things that usually in baseball, you kind of know the sequence of events here. And obviously with the Wander Franco situation, no one knows where this is headed. There's been a ton of speculation out there, probably not wise to engage in any of that right now. But I think the only thing we can kind of bank on is there'll be some type of update by Monday, because that's when the agreed upon stay on the restricted list ends. But yeah, I mean, as far as overall weeks, I'm actually working on a piece for Sunday's Tampa Bay Times. A little preview here. Maybe where does this rank as like the worst week ever in franchise history? You got your top position player on the restricted list, your top starter out for all of the rest of this year and all of next year. And then, they also lost their most heavily used reliever for a couple of weeks, Kevin Kelly, their most veteran and highest paid position player, Manny Margot. So it's been a week. That's definitely for sure.
Yeah, we're looking at the pitchers to hit the IL. Wow. So one more on Wander first, and then we'll get to the rest of the pitching and Shane McClanahan in general. Do you have any indication just from how this is going to be handled going forward? What could happen? We saw the Hector Gomez report about 24 hours ago saying that he heard from a source that he doesn't know if he'll ever play again. So my guess would be, if we're just speculating, this will at least continue to extend and they won't have him for some time.
Yeah, I don't even know that I could say that. I mean, there's just so much and so many layers to this and so many things that, first of all, we're not even sure, what or who is being investigated. There's obviously a distance factor. There's obviously a language barrier here. There's no, from the Dominican Republic Attorney General side, there's been no paperwork yet. Sometimes in a U.S. case, there's public records you can get. None of that's come out yet. So I don't know that you can really say anything. I mean, I think anything on the table, the two extremes would be that he was somehow, he could be reinstated and play on Tuesday, or he could be no decision yet. This could be pushed back, or there could be some type of disciplinary action from baseball. And obviously, what the Dominican Republic Attorney General's office is doing would at least create the potential there being criminal charges or something. So I think everything is on the table at this point, and I don't have any sense, and I don't know that anybody who's involved with this is sharing any sense of where this is actually headed yet, or if they even know.
I was wondering, obviously Big Papi has, been through a situation of literally life and death. This is completely different. Why don't people reach out to him? He's one of the most available guys like ever. Why don't people, the Latin guys, why don't they reach out to him more and in guidance, especially in a situation like this? Things like this happen. I mean, not necessarily like this, but bad situations happen where players get caught up in different things. And guys have guidance instead of trying to get it through themselves. Why don't guys reach out to Big Papi, who has made himself available to everybody?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I think he came out or did an interview just in the last day or two, Adam, and said that he was hoping to get in touch with Wander and offer him some advice if he wanted it. And yeah, I don't know how many guys do. I know there's other players who, could also be in those mentor roles. I happen to know Carlos Pena personally from him being involved with the Rays and saw him in Chicago earlier this year. And he also had expressed an interest in getting with Wander and talking to him. And, Wander's a young player. The Rays obviously had an issue earlier this year where he was benched for the 2 days not knowing to control his emotions, some immaturity type things. So you would think Wander would be a player or a guy who would welcome some advice from the right person. But, I don't know the dynamics of any relationship he has or doesn't have with Big Papi to this point.
Can Basabe take this team to the place where the Rays want to go? I mean, we feel like they're going to make the playoffs, but is Basabe, with 14 at-bats so far in his big league career, going to be the guy that's going to take at a primary position this team?
Tell you why, it's a tough thing, right, Kratzy? And a guy that has, was playing at A/AA last year, goes to AAA this year after a solid spring. But just talking to him for the last couple of days and talking to John Daniels, who was with the Rangers at the time and is now with the Rays, this is one of those guys that, even back when they first signed him at 17, was just one of those guys who knew how to play the game right, knows the nuances of the game, brings some energy to a team. Now, he's not really, they say he's a shortstop, but, the movements and stuff, he's also, split time with second and third base. They don't have a lot of options now, but they do have Taylor Walls on the way back, too. So don't forget him. And he's not going to have the bat, obviously, that Franco did. If Franco's not available, we have to preface it by saying that. But if they do need a shortstop for longer term here, Taylor Walls will be back in the picture. He's coming back from an oblique. So you have Walls, you have Basabe, and they're giving him a run right now, obviously. Vidal Brujan's been up and down a couple times. He's more of really a multiple position guy. He can play short too. But yeah, look, and you can also pick up a guy who gets released if something happens along those lines, if there's a veteran out there. So there could be some other options if the Rays do need a longer term replacement. But I think for the short term, they felt like they could go with Basabe for this week at least, and then figure out where they are based on what happens with Franco.
Mark, does the Rays organization deserve more credit for this, or more of a almost why are so many guys getting hurt question? Because one, they've weathered the storm with all these guys on the IL, and then the Franco situation, they bring it up, and they're still more than likely going to make the playoffs. But do they also deserve a little bit of what the holy hell is happening in Tampa Bay? Because these guys are blowing out. I don't know the numbers exactly. We tried to find it, but it's kind of hard to find. That they seem, maybe it's just a perception from us, they seem to blow out more guys on average than other teams do. Now, you're with them every day, so you probably know better. But is it an organization's credit that they survived this, or is it to their detriment that they have so many guys that blow out?
Probably both, I guess, AJ. I mean, I think you could say both. They certainly deserve the questions. They know that. They've answered some of them. We've done a couple stories on this. There are some lists out there where they're actually like second or third most Tommy John guys over the last couple of years. I think because their guys are more prominent guys to their rotation, it gets more attention. And one thing I can point out is, and I know this is a kind of a baseball saying, but one of the precursors to an elbow injury for a pitcher is a previous elbow injury for a pitcher. Rasmussen had it before. McClanahan had Tommy John before. Springs had some issues before, I think. So they've had some guys that had, they kind of get them sometimes because they previously have been hurt. But I think the answer to your question is both. They deserve some credit for having the depth and the ability to weather all of these things, and the kind of that stay calm, keep level-headed approach that Kevin Cash brings to the clubhouse that prevents guys from getting, oh, wow, woe is me. You don't hear a lot of that in the clubhouse. You don't hear it from him. But also, I think it's a fair question, and one that the Rays, have said that, they're going to, they need to go back and, as any team would in this situation, look at everything and figure out if there is something that they're doing. But I think they feel overall that their pitching development program, their medical training staff, their athletic training staff, their conditioning program, that all those things are in line and not any specific thing is causing this.
Can you get on the train with me to getting Kevin Cash the AL Manager of the Year every single year? Like, is he the most underrated AL manager?
I mean, you lived it, right? You got the chance to play for him a little bit there, and you see what he does with what he has to work with, and some of the framework that, you've got a front office that has its own ideas sometimes that he is given the opportunity to implement. He obviously has his own ideas. He's got often a changing cast of players. I've asked him sometimes, has there ever been a player you've met on the mound, a reliever, where you hadn't even met him yet? And he said probably once or twice, because they'll pick a guy up during the season that wasn't in spring training with him or something. So it happens, and I think he does a really good job given all of the things he has to operate with and under. and trying to keep that team competitive in that division. And they have been. They're now in line for what would be their 5th straight postseason appearance. 5 in a row is pretty good. He took over in 15. They had a couple of lean years. They just missed in 18. Then they've made it 19, 20, 21, 22, and we would think here in 23.
And the East is always strong. The resurgence of Baltimore, how is that just reshaped the division? Obviously, they're taking wins from everybody because they're beating the hell out of everybody this year.
Homer.
How is that? How
This
is
is about Tampa, not about Baltimore, Adam.
Yeah, Baltimore, baby. Baltimore.
It's surprising that you're asking that question. It really caught me off guard here. I wasn't expecting that from you, man. Look, I think Baltimore this year is kind of like, this is almost like the 98 Yankees kind of thing where you watch the scoreboard every day. It's like, are they ever going to lose? Are they ever going to lose? They obviously did the other night, and the Rays, went from 3 out to 2 out. But I'll be very candid, and for whatever my opinion's worth. After last season, that was like, oh, this is a cute little story. They did good. They kind of got to the cusp. They didn't quite make it. They didn't seem to do a lot this offseason, didn't make a lot of impact moves. Okay, now they kind of regress. They step back a little bit. Then they'll make a couple moves, and in a year or two, they'll be in the race. And here they are. They just played really good from the start. They had the opportunity when the Rays struggled. They went through that miserable 5-15 period in July, and the Orioles just zoomed right by them. And they are definitely the team to beat right now in the American League. There's no doubt about it.
I'll say it because some people can't. The Rays whipped their ass at the Trop for years.
You're fired.
You're suspended.
We're not taking that here.
Tell the FT bosses. I'm leaving.
Yeah, you get off the air
Cuff
now.
me. Sorry, I'm out. All right. If you know, you know, and everyone knows.
Mark knows. So
That was
just
a
can't
layup.
comment it.
You guys set me up. It was too good.
By the way, Mark, I don't want to hear about the Rays being poor, or at least Tampa Bay Times, because look at you in your big fat suite there in Anaheim.
He doesn't work for the Rays, dude.
I know. I said Tampa Bay Times.
Yeah.
He's look at him with his big fat suite with the couch behind him.
I'm also the only person. I think I'm the only person in this hotel who's not going to Disneyland this weekend either. So everybody else is like down in the lobby at 8 a.m. They're all filing out to go be happy all day, and I'm sitting there working on a Sunday story. Is it the worst week in Rays history or not? So there's the trade-off.
Okay. So then, since this is the worst week, or I'm assuming this is the worst week in Rays history. The Rays haven't been around that long, and they haven't had that many terrible things happen to them like this. Can this team win the World Series with the injuries and with the way they're constructed right now, without Wander Franco? I'm assuming Margot will be back, but can this team make a deep run and win the World Series?
I think it's as amazing as this sounds to say for a team that lost 3 of the 5 guys in the opening day rotation, that never had the 5 guys in the opening day rotation pitch together. They never took a turn because Glasnow was out at the front end. I do think they have the pitching. I really do. And you look at what Zach Eflin has done. Aaron Savali, who they got at the deadline, was much better the other day. Obviously, Glasnow, when he's healthy, has been really good, if not one of the best. Zach Littell has been kind of like the lifesaver for them, going from kind of fringy reliever to in the rotation. And you'll see Taj Bradley back up here. He was sent down to AAA to work on some things. He's had a couple of really good outings. He'll be back. He'll probably join the rotation in September. And whether he's a starter in the postseason or he's one of those 2 or 3 inning power reliever type guys, I think you'll see him have a big impact. So the pitching's definitely there. Now, the with or without Wander question is probably the defining point for me offensively, because before this issue came up, the way he was playing was arguably the best he's played as a major leaguer for the last couple of weeks. And, you could see that carrying over. You saw some other guys, Rosarena, coming back a little bit after that really long struggle post All-Star break. So I think without Wander Franco, the offense is going to be a question. If they have Wander Franco, I do think they could make a deep run. I think the pitching is good enough. Kittredge is back today. The bullpen has been pretty good. They remade that bullpen kind of quietly on the fly during the season, bringing in Stevenson, bringing in Diekman, Littell that I mentioned, and now with Kittredge back, Fairbanks, Jason Adam, Colin Poche has been pitching really well. They've got a pretty good group there at the back end.
Mark, did the organization know about McClanahan before, and that's why they made the trade for Savale? Because they gave up a pretty good prospect, and the Rays usually don't make these kind of moves without knowing something. So did the Rays organization know more about McClanahan than they let on, therefore jumped it and got Savale?
I don't think so, because I think they would have gotten another pitcher if they did. I think they needed Savale to cover for the gap that they already had with Rasmussen and Springs, and then just how they were going, knowing Bradley was not doing well at that point. He'd gone 6 straight without a win and needed some time away or a little bit, chance to regroup. So I think if they'd gotten 2 pitchers, AJ, I would have agreed with you on that. I don't think they did. In fact, the fact that it happened, the deadline was on a Tuesday night, and he got hurt on a Wednesday night. So it even was kind of some, just the chatter you hear of, bad luck. If it had happened 2 days earlier, they would have got another guy thing. So I don't think they expected it to be that severe. At that point, he was really just dealing with back issues, and they thought he was over that, even though he hadn't been pitching well.
Hey, Mark, what's up with the ballpark? Everything going to be status quo for a while? Have you heard anything new? Oakland and Vegas are stealing all of the attention. I am an Orlando resident these days, so I plan on going to some games in Tampa or St. Pete or hopefully still in Florida. Otherwise, AJ's
I'm allergic
maybe
to
going to die. I don't know.
I'm allergic to you,
We need
Scott.
a
Go to
ballpark
Tampa.
nearby. So I don't know. Is there anything new going on, and any speculation on where they're going to be playing games in 2028, say?
I didn't realize you were contributing to our state tax pool now, Scott. That's going to bump up the state money available right now.
Those income taxes in Florida, baby.
Yeah, I see.
Exactly.
You hang out with the players. You know how to do that. You know that move.
Mm-hmm.
Now, look, I think there's been they're right now they are on a path where they're negotiating with St. Pete. There's probably the best path over the 10, 15 years of this story to get something done. It would be built in St. Pete. It would be built adjacent to where the Trop is. It would be part of like a Atlanta-style battery redevelopment of that whole area, including actually bigger, because it would also include like some workspace and things like that, some office buildings, hotels, condominiums, apartments, restaurants, bars, kind of that whole, what they call the historic gas plant district. And I think this is the best opportunity. They've got a partnership with Hines, which is a major global developing company. So they've got to work this out with the city of St. Pete. But all that being said, nothing's signed yet. Nothing's in print. They are still willing to engage with Tampa. If anybody in Tampa comes up with an idea, it feels like that's just kind of moving the goalpost a little bit to see if there's a last-minute bid from Tampa somewhere. But I do think there's been enough progress in St. Pete. People seem kind of quietly optimistic that this can come to an agreement. And look, the situation with the Rays is they kind of just say they need a place to play on April 1st, 2028. Their lease at the Trop expires in 27. So there's not a lot of time left to get something built here. So this seems like the best opportunity at this point. I think if, it works out right, maybe it just becomes AJ Pierzynski Stadium if he kicks in a little bit.
The problem is that there's a
a
problem, though, because I already know what his negotiator says.
What?
He plays tug of war, and he's trying to bring them in to
Orlando Dreamer Rays.
Orlando. He's trying hard. He's been trying. He's publicly campaigning. I think that's why he does this show in general.
Yeah, you get a team to Orlando because that's probably going to happen.
But no, that's good to hear. And I feel like it's worth talking about a little more often. Yes, because I care because I'm down here. But also, 2027 expires. It's 2023. It takes time to build a ballpark.
I'll say this because I've obviously grew up here, lived here. I remember when they brought in Vaughn Hayes to catch fly balls in the Trop to see if anyone could see the ball, right?
Yeah.
The Rays need to find a ballpark, and as an Orlando resident and someone that goes to games, it's got to be closer to where St. Pete's a great place, and they've done actually a lot to build it up. Because I remember going there 20 years ago, and there wasn't nothing around that park. It's gotten better, but you go to Tampa, where Amalie Arena is, where the Lightning play, and Mark will tell you this, it's incredible.
Yeah,
like on the water. If they could, listen, it's a pipe dream. I get it. But if they could figure out a way to put it somewhere on the water, a roof, showcase the water, because Tampa's bay, for the bay, people will go. I firmly believe people will go. But as an Orlando resident, you go to Sarasota, you got to cross the bridge. You're from Orlando, you got to cross a bridge. If you didn't have to cross the bridge, it'd be a game changer for me.
Okay. That's good to hear. There you go. You heard it from the big man himself who buys the expensive
and
seats.
I think in an ideal world, that's exactly the plan. That's the one they pursued initially, but nothing has come up to where the people who, the people who own the land, the people who have the money, the people who own the baseball team. So there's 3 parts there. And then you've got to add the governmental bodies involved there. And that there's just not come together. And, after some point, you probably just got to say, okay, you're not getting choice A. You got to figure out what choice B is and make it work. And that's where I think they are.
Orlando.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Mark, congratulations. You're moving to Orlando.
Yeah. Mark, awesome having you on. Great coverage and looking forward to a lot more of it, obviously, during the tough times here with a lot going on with Tampa Bay. Thanks for swinging by, dude. Great to see you.
No problem, guys. Happy to be on.
Thank you. Marc Topkin, you can follow him also at the Tampa Bay Times. What is it? At TB Times _Rays to check out more of his work too. So a lot of great articles out there done by Topper for many, many years. All right, dude, you okay?
Yeah, sorry.
I know what'll fix you. Go ahead.
My Rays?
Do you have them with you, Jonesy? You got some shady Rays?
Got him.
Let's
Finally
go.
got him. Got
Beautiful.
him. You know what I mean? Out here chilling.
Looks good.
I think Kratz put the yellow hat back on again.
I think he looks good there.
It's out on the ping pong table. Nope.
Adam, this is important for you, okay? So our latest model with the Shady Rays, Adam Jones, might be learning this for the first time. The most ridiculous protection in all of eyewear is that every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. That is important for someone like you who is in a different location all of the time. If suddenly you're like, holy shit, I don't know where my brand new shades are. Even day one, right? Like even right now, you put them on, they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Very
We might
important.
go just start the parcel soon.
Very important to know what they're bringing to the table. And also, if the style is not your style, you can exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days, no risk. So hit up shadyrays.com, and the code is FOUL, FOUL, if you'd like 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. It is their best deal of the season. Try for yourself. The shades rated by over 250,000 people. 5 stars, baby. 5 stars. All right, ready for this one? I'm excited. A little baseballer action.
Let's go.
Have you seen this clip?
I don't know what it is.
Oh, good. Then you have not seen this clip, but this is very relevant for the whole crew here. The baseballer viral hit of the week takes us to my college days when I was calling Cape League games. Here it is. Things got a little heated. Watch the video, okay? He hit the homer. He did a little stare and now a bat flip. Catcher's like, get off my damn plate and start running around the bases. And let's let this ride for a second. This is the Cape League championship game, and it got a ton of buzz on Baseballer. I'll give you some of the comments while you're watching what's going on. Props to the catcher. Pudge Rides goes, don't like it, pitch better. I'm all for showboating. Danny, kind of crazy, hit that pitch out. Brady, fun police. Colin, don't give up a nuke, simple stuff. So I'll start with a catcher, then I'll go to a hitter, like a non-catcher, and then I'll go to another catcher. You good? Guy hits a dinger in a big-ass game. It's like his Joey Bats moment. He stood there for a sec, and then he was going to start trotting around. Catcher's like, fuck off.
I got no problem with what he did.
No problem with what who
The
did?
hitter did.
Okay.
I mean, the catcher's standing up for his pitcher. I get it. But it's a championship game, Cape Cod League. I always said as a catcher or as a player, if you hit a big home run in a big situation in a big game, do whatever the hell you want. Now, if it's 10-0 and you hit a home run and you do that, we're going to have probably a problem with that. But it's a big game. It's summer. It's kids. We all are. Let the kids play. Let them have fun. This is what we want to see. Show emotion. And then you do it, and the guy gets pissed. I think it's great. I think it's great. And we're talking about baseball. And when's the last time we talked about the damn Cape Cod League on this show?
Not enough, because I was...
Well, yeah, but no one cares about you.
We
show this clip. It's good for the game. Like,
I
let
agree.
the kids have fun. And I was talking to Sandy Alomar Jr. yesterday in Cleveland, and we were talking about this a little bit like this. And he's like, "You were doing this shit before you could do it." I'm like, "I know. Imagine what I could get away with now." Like, Jonesy, think about what shit we could get away with now, if in the way the game's played now, right? We used to get thrown at for this stuff. Now, man, you get praised. So like, Let's do it. If you're going to go this way, you got to be okay with it.
Yes.
And if you're going to try and police it, again, it goes back to the unwritten rules. Where do you stop it? But if we're going with this, you got to be full embrace. And I know you guys had Jeff Fry on the other day about this. And he's on Twitter. He's like the main one, like trying to police all this stuff, right? Everybody out there, whatever your opinion is, people say we want them to do this. We want them to do this. Then you got to go all the way. And you have to be okay as a former player saying shit's changed. Times have changed, and that's great. But if we're going, then let's go all in and let them enjoy their time and have fun.
It's called Let the Kids Play. Jones, are you good with what he did?
Hey, man, it's Cape Cod again, like you said, AJ. No one talks about no damn Cape Cod, okay? I hear about it. It sounds like a myth to me. Obviously, I didn't go to college, but it sounds like a mythical land. But we're talking about it now. It's awesome. These are the best college players, the best sophomores of the country right now, I believe, freshmen, sophomores. I mean, it's awesome. All these dudes are really good on their teams. Now they're coming together in the championship game. Again, the major leaguers are doing it. That's trickling down to now the little leaguers are doing it and everybody in between. It is part of the game. It's part of the new culture of sports. Celebrate it. You can't, and like Fry, I see a lot of his tweets and all that. He's, always Debbie Downer and all that kind of stuff. Like, come on, man, have some fun. Again, the old generation, especially, I said the older generation, one before me, AJ tabbed it before you because you came in some of the old rules also. But it was a different era, man. Sorry, unfortunately, it's a different era. These kids are having fun, and you can't stonewall these kids anymore.
I'll come from the point of view of the only person that went to college and graduated from college of the two of you. Not you, Scotty.
Wait, hold on. Wait, Jonesy, does he deserve like a cookie or something for that?
Yeah, I graduated from that, John.
Yeah, he has a piece of paper on his wall, okay?
How about that? How about them apples?
Ooh, man.
Yeah, Scotty. No. Back when I was in college, yeah, I would have been pissed. I would have done the same thing because I was
40 years ago.
It was 21 now. I would have been embarrassed because I'm now losing 5-1 or 5-2 in the championship game late. And so, yeah, that would have been my only reaction back then. But now, no. Like, the dude just hit an like, we just talked about Cody Bellinger separating his shoulder in the World Series game or NLCS when he did it in 2020. Like, you celebrate. There's so much emotion, and like you saw the dugout. Like if the dugout was like, "Oh boy, he's doing it again," then it would have been one thing. But I got no problem with it now. But back when I was in college, yeah, I would have been pissed.
Yeah, get off my lawn, old man.
At 21 years old?
Well, you're old now. You're saying you would have done that. So.
Yeah, but back then,
back then I was. Now I like it.
It was a different time, though. It was a different era. It was a
but if you're in college now, okay, Kratzy, I'm giving you fountain of youth. You're in college right now. You're the catcher there. Are you saying shit to the guy? Like, get off my damn plate?
Like, if you have enough confidence to not say it, like, you're insecure if you have to get in that guy's face. And in college, your insecurity is through the roof. You are getting embarrassed. You're getting embarrassed and you don't want to be embarrassed. That's why we have the whole, 3 weeks too late, Tim Anderson apology letter of AI Chad GPT. Because when you're embarrassed, you do things that maybe are kind of out of sorts. Like, I don't know, is that catcher is he the guardian of the rules? No,
hey, your boy Salvi did it in the big leagues to Tim Anderson, remember? Your boy Salvi did it one time to Tim Anderson, and Tim Anderson called him and said, "What are you, the fun police?" Remember? Tim Anderson hit a homer through his bat. Salvi did the same. No, I mean, not to that extent, obviously, but he stood there and said something to him, right? So, I mean, it's just, was he embarrassed? Was Salvi embarrassed when he did it to Tim Anderson?
Or maybe just sticking up for the boys. My thing is, if you have a problem with it, yeah, get in his face. Now there's a championship game, so there's no more games, but it's okay. You can hit him. You can put a ball in his right butt cheek the next time he hits.
We discourage that. We discourage that.
Let's get some perspective here.
Yeah.
There you go. It's baseballer.com. They got great merch and all that going on. And also the Baseballer on IG. Great friends of ours. And thanks for posting this and bringing it up and bringing it to light and giving some attention to the damn Cape League. Let's go. You guys need to stop hating on the Cape League just because you don't know what it's about.
Who was
You didn't
hating
go to
on
college.
it? I love summer
We're like,
catch.
we're not talking about it enough. Let's bring
were
on
hating on it.
Diamondbacks pitcher Zac Gallen with us right now. We can run it for him. Zach, how you doing? First off, did you do Cape League action?
I did. Yeah, I was in Chatham.
Of course he did,
14
dude.
and
He was a
15.
stud.
Oh yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
he was
No,
a
because I was
stud,
in
bro.
Chatham. I was in Chatham before him broadcasting. So, but we
Did
didn't.
he meet
cross.
Jessica Biel on a lawnmower and
Yeah, she's there every summer, the whole time.
like Freddie Prinze Jr. did?
Wait, Zach, can we show you this clip though? So this was from the Cape League Championship. Okay, watch this. Dinger. This is a championship game, and you know what it's like out there. Okay, catcher.
Yeah, I saw that clip on Twitter. I was trying to figure out what was going on. I don't know. I just don't remember tensions ever getting that high in the Cape. I think a lot of guys were just, especially in the championship, most of those guys are like, man, I'm ready to go home. So it's kind of cool to see the guys, we're still, still ready to roll. But yeah, I kind of caught you guys talking about it a little bit. I wasn't sure, who was on what side and what was going on there.
No, we're all, and these are catchers that played 1,000,000 years ago, and even they're on the side of the hitter, though. They're like, dude, it's a championship game. Like, if there is some tension, like, go for it. He didn't like look back at the catcher and smack him in the face. Like, he Jose Bautista did for a moment.
Yeah. Well, my question for Zach is, are you pissed as the pitcher? Are you pissed because you gave him the home run? Embarrassed because you gave him the home run? Are you pissed at your catcher for making a big deal out of nothing? Or do you, next time you face this guy, stick one in his ribs and
What
be like,
for? What though? He's
that's what I'm
allowed to
saying. I'm
celebrate.
asking him. I'm asking you. You didn't play.
Yeah, I'm more on the side that when I give up a ball that's hit hard, I don't usually watch the hitter, so I don't know. I would have seen the replay or whatever somebody would tell me about it. So I would have been fired up that the catcher stood up for me in the sense that the batter was trying to whatever embarrass me or whatever. But I don't know. I'm kind of on the side that if you get me, whatever, that's fine. And I'm more on this side of you want to strike the guy out. I'm not in the sense of giving up free base runners, but there comes a time and a place where you might have to take matters into your own hands.
All right, so Zach, as a pitcher, you ever struck a guy out and gone, yeah? Have you ever done that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's the same thing.
So then, if I hit a homer off you and I flip my bat, is it not even?
Yeah, that's what I said. That's how
okay. I just wanted to hear you say it. Because you said you don't watch the hitter and you don't, but I understand. So, like Jose Lima was like the first guy. He'd be like, yeah, when he struck you out and he'd do his little dance.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Jose Lima.
I loved it.
I know, but then he would also say, if you get a hit on me, you flip your bat, I'm okay with it because I'm dancing when I strike your ass out. So, But then there's some pitchers you talk to, they're like, don't show me up by flipping your bat. I'm like, well, fuck you. If you strike me out, you're pumping your fist walking off the mound. I'll do whatever I want. So I appreciate you being fair.
I think there's a line between where you're celebrating with your team or you're celebrating, for lack of a better word, individually, as opposed to like actually staring down. Like from that video, it looks like he's just kind of admiring the ball that he hit. He wasn't looking at the pitcher. He wasn't looking at it until the catcher said something. Then he turned around. So in that sense too, it's like, you put a good swing on it, like whatever, that's fine by me. But when you start to, walk down first base and you're eyeing somebody up, that's like a little different story. That's kind of because, same thing too. If I celebrate after a strikeout, I'm not looking at a guy. Like I'm more looking at our dugout, like whatever.
No, and that's good. It's important coming from you so that people know, like, yeah, go have fun with it. And there's a right and wrong way to do it without like causing a fight out of it too, So enjoy it.
Ultimately,
it's entertaining.
It's a game. That's like at the end of the day, it's a game, and we're all competitive. You wouldn't be competitive if you were playing this game. So, there's have some fun with it.
All right, so you had a good time yesterday because you picked up the dub for the squad against the team that was actually coming off a good series. They've had their ups and downs this year, the Pods, but How was yesterday's game for you? How would you evaluate what you did on the mound yesterday and really on the season now?
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen a team back to back this year. A lineup like that, it can get a little dicey. Didn't feel like I had my greatest stuff, so I told our catcher Gabby, I was like, hey man, I feel like I don't have great stuff today. We're gonna have to be creative with how we're gonna get these guys out. I was behind the count a lot. A lot more balls than I would have liked. I had to challenge some guys and give us some loud contact, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, I guess. So, but we got the win. That's all that matters. Let's see if we can get on a roll here.
Does it feel better to get through and get a dub on a night when you're like, oh boy, I don't got it? Or does it feel better to be like, I was dominant tonight, like this was easy?
Yeah, obviously I think you want the one where you're dominant, because you're trying to replicate that a little bit more, try and replicate that feel. But at the same time, it's one of those ones where you're just like might have got away with one there. So, yeah, I'll take them any way I can get them, really. Any way that gives us a chance to win. Just back to the drawing board, really.
Hey, Zach, I'll tell you where you guys got lucky. The Mariners like to swing deals left and right. I know Jared Dipoto will be the first person to say that. And I know you guys had to give up some good ball players on your end that were helping the big league squad. But what did you think of the trade deadline? I know you got Tommy Pham, who's a dude, but also Paul Sewald, who he's been on this show many times. Great reliever. Mariners, actually, and I'm watching them a lot lately. They're playing well, but you watch them at the end of games, you're like, damn, they need a high leverage reliever. And now you guys got him. So what's that been like for you guys trade deadline wise to add a couple guys to help the squad?
Yeah, Paul's been awesome, on the field and off the field. On the field, his last few years, speak for themselves. We gave up a good bit to get Paul, but having that lockdown back end guy is something we've been missing. Especially if we want to, take this thing seriously for the next couple of years. But off the field too, you could tell just from having conversations, he's intense in the sense that he's looking for excellence. He's on that pursuit of excellence, just in terms of himself, in terms of an organization. So yeah, it's kind of, goes in line with how I kind of view things and the way going about my business and the way, you want the people around you to go about their business.
Also, I need to mention Jace Peterson was also added.
Yeah, don't forget him.
I don't want to forget Jace. So Jace and Tommy Pham there, in addition to Sewald.
And by the way, just for the record, 6 1/3, 3 hits, 1 run. If that's lucky, there's a lot of damn pitchers out there that'll be like, man, I'll take that luck all the time, except if you're on the Yankees, because luck doesn't matter.
Well, he doesn't know that whole story.
I know, but that wasn't directed to him.
Yes, I know.
No, yeah, there was just a lot of loud contact, and that lineup. It's there's some damage that can definitely be done in that lineup, especially when you get behind the count a lot. So yeah, there was some balls that you're like. Thank God we were playing in San Diego at nighttime with that marine layer came in.
Hey, Kim 0 for 4, Tatis 0 for 2, Soto 0 for 4, Machado 0 for 4, Bogarts 0 for 3. I think you did all right.
I need you to hype me up a little bit more.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. Listen.
No,
I'm looking at it from a catcher standpoint. You go into a game against them and you say, Kim, Tatis, Soto, Machado, Bogarts 1 through 5 are going to go 0 for 12, 14, 0 for 17. It's a pretty damn good day. I don't care what kind of contact they were having.
I agree. And guess what? We talked last time about this, and I know you've mentioned it a couple times. Come the end of the season where votes are submitted for things, we've got your back. We're watching the games themselves. I know you mentioned there's some hard contact. Okay. All right. It happens to almost everybody every night.
Yeah, it's more so for me. Like I had said in the post-game interview last night, it was like, when you check the box score the next day, it doesn't say 0 for 4 average exit velo 200 miles an hour. Like it doesn't say that. So, but for me, I'm always, like I said, on that pursuit of excellence of just trying to figure out why, stuff like that. There was a lot of contact. Just, I'm always just trying to figure out ways to get better. As, cliche as it is, like, okay, let's try to eliminate that because, is that a thing from facing a team twice in 5 days? Because if I want to pitch in the playoffs, that's going to happen. The series goes, longer than 4 games. You're going to see a team twice in, 5 to 6 days, whatever it is. So, yeah, just I'm always trying to stay ahead of those things.
We see one game now. Obviously, guys, we've all played in teams that have made it to the playoffs, have not made the playoffs. Talk to the fans about being one game back in the wild card and what that feels like for your team, in the sense of like, dang, we got a lot to do, or we're right there, we got this.
Yeah, I think it's no secret that we struggled going into the break, and then coming out of the break was super slow. But at the same time, it felt like the sentiment in the clubhouse was like, all right, even though had been playing, maybe the worst record wise in baseball, like we're still only a couple games out of it. So I think for us, it was kind of like, all right, we need to, have some kind of like, let's get going here. Have some sense of urgency, but at the same time, like, let's not panic. There's, we're still in this thing. We still got a good team. We showed that we got a good team. So yeah, I think a lot of guys were, maybe just trying to do too much, not necessarily in the sense of panicking and scared. We're just like, somebody wanted to be that guy to kind of break through and get that big hit when we needed it, or, that big shutdown inning when we needed it, and just maybe pressing a little bit too much. And I think now everyone has kind of seen like, all right, we won a good series against San Diego at home. We came back and won 2 or 3 against Colorado. Yeah, so I think a lot of guys weights kind of lifted off their shoulder. But at the same time, like I said, I think last week or whatever it was, like, there's 6 other teams fighting for that last wild card spot. Like, nobody's going to give it to us. We're going to have to earn it. So just because we, win one game here doesn't mean we're going to win the next 3. It's like, we got to go out, and as, Tori says every night, it's like, you got to go 1-0, whatever it is. It's 1-0. It's not the next day. It's not the day before. It's that day.
Hey, Zach, what do you look at besides, say, the regular box score of innings, runs, maybe ERA? What do you look at now? And in order to get to this point when you were developing, both in the all the systems that you went through in the minor league systems, what were the important parts of what you were looking at for success and for getting better?
Yeah, I think I had a pitching coach when I was at the Cardinals, Randy Neiman. He was our high A pitching coach. And not that it was a number of success or whatever, but there was a couple of times where I was, didn't feel great, couldn't get in the strike zone, was just missing whatever it was. And he's like, there's no reason for you any night to throw more than 30 balls. So not that that's a success thing, because there's nights I've thrown, 32 balls out of my 100 pitches or whatever, and, have gone 7 shutout or whatever. That's a number I look at, though. It kind of shows me that I was more or so ahead in the count. I was putting guys away. I wasn't really wasting a lot of pitches. So that's a number for me that I kind of look at. And, when I'm out there, I'm cognizant of it, but it's not something that, is going to dictate, how I change my game plan. But for me, I'm super feel oriented. So if I felt something in the game, the night before, I'll go and watch a video and see, if I can line it up from a start where I felt good and felt like I had everything working, go out and play catch the next day. And then the big thing is that the other number is just trying to win the first 2 or 3 pitches, like, get count leverage. So get ahead, get, for a strike, and then win that 1-1 count to kind of to get you to 1-2, or, see how fast you can, get to 2 strikes.
Zach, you had a good one last night. So now what do you do in San Diego? You're in San Diego. You got the weekend off as a starting pitcher. What the heck are you doing?
He doesn't have to go to the ballpark?
Well, I mean, yeah, show up and, you just work in, take the rest of the night, take 3 days off basically as a starting pitcher. So what do you do in San Diego for 3 days? You're hitting the gas lamp, you're walking the beach, you're surfing, you're going to La Jolla. We had a kid on from La Jolla. You're hanging out at Jonesy's house. I mean, what's happening there?
Yeah, no invite from Jonesy. Thanks to you guys, I'm missing some beach time right now. It's 11:30. I could be at the beach. But no, I kind of was persuading my girlfriend to come into town for the day. She's busy in tax season right now, so I'm like, what if you fly in tonight? We hang out, and then go to the beach tomorrow, and get some dinner or whatever. So Yeah, I'm just hanging out at the hotel today. Probably walk around, maybe get some coffee, and then go to the field, and then maybe go to the beach tomorrow. But yeah, I just joke. I'm like I'm on vacation now in San Diego for the next 3 days.
Yeah. I mean, some people are distracted there if they play there because it's like, damn, it's so beautiful. Like, right?
Yeah. Plus, where they stay. I mean, it's right in the heart of it.
Is it? I don't know where. Well,
I mean, most of them stay right by the ballpark. I'm not going to say exactly where, but you can go across the bridge to Coronado.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Gaslamp right there. You've got
it's a good
beaches
spot. And in terms of logistics, it might be it's probably I would say top 5, like where you stay, and there's a lot of good food. The field's super close. You can kind of get to the beach like wherever. So it's a solid spot when we're here for sure. I always enjoy coming here. It's a cool park.
Yeah,
like, there's good energy,
listen, nobody has ever said, "Oh crap, I got to go to San Diego, work one day and get 3 days off." I don't think anybody in the history of the world's ever said that. I mean, there's other places you probably say that. Yeah, I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
Some places.
Yeah, but as a Jersey guy, you're not looking to live in San Diego. Don't get it twisted.
Why not?
No, I mean, but see, I grew up at the beach though. Like I wouldn't mind, living on the beach out here outside of the California taxes though. If Arizona had a beach, that would be the best. That would be the best of both worlds. Good state income tax and a beach. But yeah, I mean, it's good living out here though, so I can't complain.
I agree. It's nice out there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Zach, dude, appreciate the time. Now go do your thing. Go enjoy the sunshine and all that. Thanks for hopping on with us. Appreciate it, dude. It was great to catch up with you a little more again and look forward to it. Keep the playoff chase going. All right.
That's right. Sounds good. Thanks, fellas. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Zach. I hope they get in too, because they're exciting.
Yeah.
They're so exciting to watch the way they run they remind me a little bit of the Orioles. The Orioles might have a little more top end younger guys, like talent wise, meaning. Right, but the way the Diamondbacks go about it, I mean, I love watching them. They take the extra base, they run, they steal, they can pitch. Their bullpen's solid. Like I want these younger teams to get in so we can see a different kind of game other than let's try to hit home runs all the time.
They run the ball down too. It is so much fun to watch. I mean, obviously it's not fun for Gallen to watch a ball get rocketed, but balls off the wall. The Diamondbacks just like when you watch the game, you're like, wow. Like they are on that ball immediately, and it's another step or two than other teams, and it's constant. And they run the bases with their cleats on fire. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, and I don't think that Zach would want to. I think he's glad to be on the Diamondbacks because they're a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
they get on base and they're doing all the shit you're talking about. So it's fun for him to have them behind him versus having to face that lineup too.
I love how you said he got lucky. Luck doesn't count, Kratz. Don't you know that by now? Didn't we learn that the last couple of days? Luck doesn't matter.
You better be careful. He might get sent down.
Yeah, right. All right. You guys ready to play a little Immaculate Grid?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Jonesy, you've been talked up pretty big. So people watched what you did. A couple of your Orioles calls last time when we played. So the Immaculate Grid is going to be put up on the screen. There it is. We can get some help from our friends here too. Because are we doing the clock today or are we just chilling? Are we okay? What's the plan? Just normal. Cool. Okay.
I looked at it and I analyze it always. I want to go with the Brewers and the Reds.
You already got something for us?
Todd Coffee.
Oh, nice. Look at this dude coming prepared. Okay.
I think. Hey, I look at it and I just think.
There you go.
Can we call this?
Big fella.
Can we call this bit hit the gritty or no?
I'm okay with that.
Okay. I mean, that's fine.
I think Claudia said, "Oh my." She said,
"Uh oh."
No,
why? Claudia, tell us in our ear. Is that a dad joke or something? It's okay. Okay, it's in. All right. And also for everyone that's watching this, because this usually goes up, we have like a running TikTok with this too. Like, this is a group effort, the way that we play it. There's no money on the line. We're having fun, okay? And we're not looking shit up, but we do play with our friends because there's many people in the YouTube chat.
Mike Moustakas,
I want to sound like I'm an angry
top left
person,
corner.
but let's have fun with it. Wait. Mike Moustakas or
Top
I've been
left
told
corner.
Scott Podsednik.
Oh, Scott Potzett.
Top
Scotty
left corner?
Pods, yeah.
Which one you going with?
I mean,
I think Podsednik's more random.
yeah, Moustakas was a
Kratz, are you okay if I
Closer.
overrule you on this
No,
one?
that's good.
Okay. AJ Early coming in because I'm sure he watched Scotty Pods on the White Sox.
Just a
Where'd
little
we
bit.
go here? 1%?
1%er.
Love that.
Yeah. I'm just saying because I'm learning my lesson here. Moose, pretty recent. Now he's on the rocks. I didn't want to do anything crazy
that's
here.
good.
So
Yeah. Moustakas
good.
on the Rockies this year.
yeah.
So that current is a little more used.
I got a center one.
Who?
White Nationals, Reds. One of the angriest, sweetest guys, Jose Guillen.
Ooh, all right.
Jose Guillen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jose Guillen.
There you go.
0.7.
Angry bastard.
Dang.
I had him in 07. He's like, Poppy, go get me batting glove. I just like, the first time I brought him like one. So I was like, he's like, no, Poppy, bring me more. So I just brought him like this whole thing. He's on deck. I'm just sitting there just like, here, man. It was wild, man. Taught me a lot.
Did you play with him on the Mariners?
Yeah, 07, he came over there. That's why I got sent
Nice.
down. Ichiro moved to center field. They was like, this young kid ain't ready to play center field yet. Ichiro go to center field. I'm just rotting in AAA, raking. So, hey, I needed another year.
I like it. All right.
All right.
So Jackson in the chat wants to chime in with one. You said, what about Todd Hundley for the Mets 100-plus RBI season? It's a good name. Did he get to a hundo?
We're about to find out.
Yeah.
If you type this in. I think he did when he was a catcher.
I had Bernard Gilkey.
Ooh, that was good too.
Bernard
Did Gilkey
Gilkey
get to a hundo?
Whoa.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Wow. Fire. Jackson, good work.
Yeah. Good job.
I'm going
All right, we
real.
got 5
I'm going
left.
real Mets. Mets, Washington. My old teammate, Ryan Church.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Nice.
Left-handed hitting.
Wow.
See, now I'm feeling pressure because this is really hot right now.
This is pretty good numbers so far.
Yeah.
Brewers, Mets. I don't got. Ooh.
4 left
I mean, someone said Eduardo Escobar, but isn't he kind of too
for Brewers Mets. Someone
Yeah.
said Robin Ventura.
did he play for the Brewers?
Man, I didn't know he played for the.
I didn't know he played for the Brewers. I knew he played for
Yeah.
the Mets.
I don't know.
Someone
That's-
said Julio Franco. I didn't know he played.
AJ Early's playing with us, and he's usually pretty sharp.
I mean, I don't know. That's a good one.
Do we want to?
I mean, Rockies.
risk it?
There's a lot of guys. Rockies home run. I mean, RBIs. I mean, a lot of
Bichette,
people gonna go
Castilla, Galarraga. I mean, there's a lot of guys.
I'm
Yeah,
going
but they're
Ellis
randos.
Burks.
Ellis Burks.
Yeah,
Alex Burks, yeah, he had a good.
we
year.
used Ellis Burks for a Rockies other stat
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
crossover.
Because a lot of people gonna go with the bigger, the more known names. Arenado.
Yep.
More
CJ Cron's another 100 RBI guy. He just hit it.
Yeah.
There's
That's so
in
recent.
22 though.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
so
Remember
recent.
Ellis Burks.
I got a Juan Acevedo for Brewers Mets.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
mean,
Oh,
You
and
could go
AJ said I was reading it wrong. He goes, Ventura was for the 100 RBI Met.
Oh, he could go
K-Rod.
K-Rod, Frankie Rodriguez for the Brewers Mets, right?
Yep. He pitched for
Well,
both of them.
Acevedo sounds more rando.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's way more random.
That's way more
Give
rare.
me the rando. Give me the rando, baby. We know what this game's all about.
And then
Which
I mean,
one?
so we can hear him finish. Dave Parker.
Juan or Jose?
He's
Oh,
one
he
guy.
said Juan.
One. That's a 0.00%.
Wow. Wow. Was that, what does that say? 0.008?
Yeah, something like that.
Yes. Okay. All right. We got 2 more.
Dave
I mean,
Parker,
Reds.
Reds.
Dave Parker.
Yeah. Foster, what was the guy? George Foster when he hit
George
50-something
Foster.
home runs.
Dave Parker.
I'm going
Alright.
Parker. Parker.
He's going Dave Parker.
I feel like Adam Dunn had to have.
Dunner had a lot of
Feel me?
Wow.
That's a
Did he have a lot of
0.9.
100 RBI seasons?
Dunner, yeah.
He hit.
But he had a lot
No,
of
we're
them.
done
Man,
though.
that's
We're
what we go
on
with him.
we're
We go
on
with Johnny
Washington,
Pitts.
Cincinnati.
No, Washington.
Washington.
Colorado.
Washington, Colorado.
Sorry, I can't read. Washington, Colorado. It's been a long day. Washington, Colorado. Finished strong.
It's got to be someone needs a random
Ian
reliever.
Desmond is too common, right?
No.
Did Daniel Murphy play for Colorado for a year?
Expos count?
For sure.
We got Larry Walker, but I mean that's a big.
Daniel
Nah,
Murphy
that's too
played
big
for
of a
the
name.
Rockies.
Daniel
did?
Murphy did play for the Rockies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Daniel Murphy, please.
21. That's pretty good.
Nice.
Murphy
Damn,
killed
man.
us 12%.
Oh, man. Murph? What the fuck? All right. That's pretty strong, though.
21's pretty
Ian
good.
Desmond
All right.
probably, he should have went with Ian Desmond.
I feel like Ian Desmond would have been up there, too. Let's slap.
There has to be a random reliever. You need to like random relievers,
Mm-hmm.
like a
Larry
Tyler
Anderson.
Flipper.
I use Larry Anderson
I agree.
all the time.
I agree. Let's slap.
Oh,
Oh, you miss it because on Friday, sometimes Jonesy's on a Friday when you're not on, and he goes ball.
that was a ball.
because it's a ball.
He takes your line.
Down.
Not
Kratzy,
down.
what's on your head?
I'm really good at receiving. It's not a ball.
Jonesy, Ian Desmond was 18%, by the way, just FYI.
Great framing. Oh, he was?
Yeah, I just looked.
Oh, so good. We were good.
We were better.
What do you got?
Middle school, the team I coached, my middle school team, we were 1-19 in 2 seasons. Got called up to high school, so don't let me get hot in high school. I might get called up to whatever the next level after high school is.
Is that like the Angels system where you just got called up?
For no reason.
No, I played.
Like,
I actually
after
coached
5
more
minutes?
games than Nolan Chanel or whatever his name is. Just got called up for. He played only like 21 games.
So Nolan Shanwell, and this is my slap hands, okay? Because we didn't have time for it, and I'm kind of torn here because for the most part, I love prospects. I love bringing guys up. But whoa, and I will admittedly say I am not following or watching his games yet. I've read about him, and I remember when he was picked 5 minutes ago, 11th overall, which was what, like a month and a half
I
ago?
mean, we did 6 hours of it. We should know. All these
Yeah,
guys.
he was in AA, 21 years old, from Florida Atlantic. He's hitting 370, 510, 493. You're like, damn, yeah, call that man up in 21 minor league games. But hey, I will say this. What's the worst that happens?
He struggled.
He goes 0 for 30 and they send him back down.
He's not going to do that.
Right. So fuck it. And he's not 18.
Pure
He's 21.
panic though in the Angels.
I
They'll try
know.
anything,
This is
which
what
I
they're
get.
doing. Yeah.
So I reached out when I heard this to a friend of mine that's a scout that covers Florida for a lot of teams and asked him about this kid. And he said he helped coach him and he really likes him. He's got great makeup, big power, doesn't strike out a ton. And I said, what about makeup? And he said, this guy will be able to handle it.
Yep.
I was like, okay,
Cool.
all I needed to hear. So wish him the best.
Oh, look, Passon said he was seen as perhaps the most big league ready hitter in the draft. Incredible production at FAU. But this fast promotion exceeds the loftiest expectations. Angels doing everything they can to win. I will say this, because I've heard this from multiple people too. The Angels have been drafting sometimes with the idea of not like who can rise fast. They're like, who can we bring up like now?
Neto. They did to Neto.
I know.
Now they did it here.
With
Joyce.
some of the relievers too. Some of the
Yeah.
pitching.
Joyce, kid from Tennessee.
They're like, yo, hey, can you pitch tomorrow?
Imagine if Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens would be pitching next to Ohtani already if he had the number
for
one
sure. For
pick.
sure.
It'd be Ohtani Skeens 1-2.
Hey, on the player side, it's fucking awesome. Your service time starts now. That's cool. All right, I think we're good. Oh, we got one more thing. Jason Alexander, George Costanza from Seinfeld, on the screen at Dodger Stadium. They put him up there, and they called him the Yankees assistant to the traveling secretary for the Seinfeld fans. There's also actually, we have a pretty young demographic. There's probably a ton of people that are like, whoop, right over my head. No idea what you're talking about.
Look it
Great.
up.
That's one of the all-time great roles, though. When he would go in and Steinbrenner would call him in and he'd give him a lecture, and they just show
They
like a
don't show
back. It was so great.
It was
And
great.
he tried to, what is it, Danny Tartable the one time he was giving him hitting lessons in McKay. They had Jeter and all those guys on there. Bernie Williams, right?
Yes.
By the way, we are remiss without happy birthday to the late, great Roberto Clemente today.
Yes.
So let's not, I mean, we can't get off the air without saying that.
Agreed.
a lot of people clamoring for 21 to be retired throughout baseball, especially in Pittsburgh, but one of the all-time great players and great gentlemen in baseball history. So rest in peace, Roberto Clemente, and happy birthday.
Well said. Well said. Jonesy, we'll see you in your next country, okay?
All righty.
Hey, try to break 80.
Big week next week, including us in Somerset, the AA Yankees affiliate. If you're in the area,
wait, do I get that day off? Do I get Thursday off?
Nope, you'll be on with us from Orlando. We will see you on Monday.
You'll be one of our special guests.
Oh, Chas McCormick and Mike Ford on Monday. Boom.
Like Ford.